Matt Jackson on pole, the title contenders bunched behind. Good luck to all of them as the final day's action in the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship is set to get underway here at Brands Hatch with round 28, watched by commentators Tim Harvey and David Addison.
One more day, 3 more races, 5 drivers, and one of them can be champion. 10 times on the grid, Tim.
Oh, incredibly tense. You know, it's got a great build-up into the programme so far. You saw the emotion and everything in the drivers, and now they can put their helmets on, they can get down to the racing and do the job that they've thought. They've got a plan for this first race, but will it happen that way? I don't know, but it's very exciting. It's great to be part of it. A massive crowd here today. Great spectacle. The Brands Grand Prix circuit, the perfect venue for it, and, well, fingers crossed we have a good race.
There's so much to look for in this because you've got the championship situation and then you've got all the other drivers with nothing to lose within that championship situation that just want a race win or a good result by the end of this season. Let's look at how they line up for this round 28 of the championship. Matt Jackson, 3 poles in a row. Aaron Smith is alongside him on the front of the grid ahead of Adam Morgan, and then the championship leader Gordon Shedden, he will start 4th. 5th on the grid is Colin Turkington, Jason Plato 6th, and on the soft tyres as well, ahead of Tom Ingram, and then Matt Neal starting 8th. 9th on the grid, Andy Prio. 10th is Josh Cook using the new RML parts. 11th on the grid is Jack Goff, and he's ahead of Dave Newsham. Andrew Jordan starts 13th. Sam Tordoff, another man with work to do. He's only 14th on the grid, ahead of a returning Alain Menu. James Cole starts 16th in the second of the Ford Focuses from Motorbase, ahead of Jeff Smith, and Rob Collard 18th. Watch him try to make progress. Martin Depper is 19th. Local man Mike Bushell 20th on the grid. 21st is Hunter Abbott. He is ahead of Aidan Moffat. Then it's Jake Hill, local and returning to the championship in the Audi S3. Alex Martin alongside him. Rob Austin 25th. Another local man, Tony Gillam, is 26th ahead of Derek Palmer and Simon Belcher. The back of the grid is Stuart Lines and Dan Welch. 30 cars in total. It is a 15-lap race, and there is Gordon Shedden, the man who starts 4th on the grid. And really, for the first couple of corners, he's just going to try and keep out of trouble, but he wants to try and pull away from Turkington and Plato if he can, but equally, he doesn't want to put himself in any jeopardy, does he? It's going to be difficult to see how Gordon Shedden makes the progress through the first couple of corners, but as the cars make their way down now towards the grid, it is going to be Matt Jackson for pole. And is he going to be able to be caught in the race? We know that he is quick. We know the new Ford's engine is very good indeed, allied to a really good chassis that's been developed over the last couple of seasons, and everything now is hooked up very impressively. Aaron Smith there on the outside of the front row. Now, he wants a win before the end of the season, but he is mindful he might have to help teammates. Remember the ballast situation. Gordon Shedden on 75. It's championship position that dictates. Jason Plato has 66 and 57 for Colin Turkington. Matt Neal's got 48. Andrew Jordan 39. Tordoff, Prio, Morgan, Goff, Collard are the other weight carriers going into this race. And this is Gordon Shedden's view as he heads now up towards the grid.
Yes, and of course Jason Plato's got his nemesis Matt Neal starting right behind him on the grid. Indeed. So he won't be too comfortable with that. But I think for the front row guys, Matt Jackson and Aaron Smith, they will be out there trying to get a win for themselves. They've got no ballast on, not involved in the championship. They can go for it.
We've got 3 cars, Jack Goff, Andrew Jordan, and one more, which is Alain Menu, all in the pit lane. So those drivers trying to roll the dice here for the lap time for race 2. So 3 of them in the pit lane, both the MGs. Remember, Jack Goff sacrificed a race at Silverstone to do that. There they are. So they will leave the pit lane, try and buy themselves clear track space, and so the grid now has a few holes in it as we get set for this, the first of 3 races then today at Brands Hatch. This is round 28 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Title to be decided by the end of the day. Let's go racing! Good start by Matt Jackson, good start by Adam Morgan as well. Shedden tries to Plato right on his tail.
A good clean start, and Aaron Smith has managed to get across the front of Aaron Morgan, but no contact so far.
Way out wide, Dave Newsham, Mike Bushell runs wide as well. Matt Jackson is leading as they head downhill. Up the inside is Shedden, the Volkswagen to the outside, and in all sorts of strife is Tony Gillam. Rally crossing his way out of Druids, but he's back on. Jackson leads the way, and he's trying to escape up the road.
And look at this, we've got up the inside, we've got Plato and Shedden, the championship protagonists. A little bit of contact there. Plato is Shedden wide. Shedden, I think, decided very early on to get out of that.
And so they power downhill with now Andy Prio trying to buy into the battle as well. Jackson leads the race. Smith is second. Then it's Morgan in third spot as they turn their way through Hawthorns. Jason Plato then up ahead of Shedden, and off the road goes Dave Newsham through the gravel into the tyres.
Oh, and Alex Martin going off. Oh, and that's a hard hit. Definitely safety car's going to have to come out soon, but they will race until they get to the safety car boards. Newsham, of course, was out wide up at Druids earlier in the lap, so maybe some issue there.
Safety car is deployed, indeed, as predicted. So they race to the board. Safety car is deployed. Everybody will bunch up. Jackson, Smith, Morgan is the top three as they work their way towards the timing line. Turkington fourth, Plato fifth, Gordon Shedden in sixth spot, and then they're all going to have to hold station as they work their way over the timing line. Matt Jackson have built quite a decent advantage on that first lap, but it's about to disappear as they now have to work their way slowly over the line under safety car conditions. And Tom Ingram is heading down the pit lane, I notice. So we've got Tom Ingram down the pit road in the Speedworks Toyota, but the rest of the pack then now, those that can at least, work their way over the line. And this doesn't help those drivers that started from the pit lane.
No, this is the crash. You see Newsham going off the back now. Then watch for the yellow Ford coming into shot there. May have had a touch of contact. Jake Hill was the car immediately behind. I don't know, don't want to suspect, but it looked quite a long way round the corner that the back end went, so there may have been some contact. This is on board with Plato at the start. And look, Turkington's got up the inside of Shedden, which is what allows Plato to latch onto the back of Shedden. And, well, nervy times for Shedden. He's got Plato behind him, knowing that Plato would love him not to finish this first race. Whack! A little bit of contact there, and already, and Shedden pushed wide. I don't think that was deliberate because it was just bunching up into the first corner. But Shedden comes down the inside into Graham Hill. And now we get a better run on board as Plato tries to go across, and there's another little touch just here which pushes Shedden wide, and at that point I think Shedden thinks, right, I'll get out of this, I'm better off following Plato than being nerfed off.
Alex Martin has made it back to the pit lane, but you can see how much damage there is on the front, and it's all the damage that needs to be cleared off the road.
As has Newsham.
Yeah, Newsham has got out of the gravel as well. They make sure there's no gravel in a nasty place. Ideally, he wants to stay on the lead lap, but may not necessarily happen. The safety car will be in this time then, so quickly the debris is cleared, and we're going to go back to racing this time around. Who is going to be on their toes? Can Smith do anything about Jackson on the restart?
Yeah, see when they go, but as you say, that won't have helped the cars that drop back to the pit lane to get clear air unless they drop back again now.
Don't trip over themselves, because there were three, of course, that did it. Menu was out first, then Goff, then Jordan in the order. So we are about to go racing once again here at Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit. The cars dive down towards Clark Curve. The marshals ready with the green flags to get the race back underway, led by Matt Jackson, who has gone, hasn't he, compared to Aaron Smith. Really good on his toes. Jackson leads. Second over the line is Smith. Morgan is third, a winner here last year, remember. Then fourth, Turkington. Fifth is Plato. Then it's Shedden, Neil, Prio. Josh Cook going well with the new parts, some of the new parts on his car. And 10 is torn off, and Dave Newsham has joined back in, and now suddenly has to get out of the way of everybody swarming past him on the grass even there.
Well, that was difficult. He came back out right into the middle pack, didn't he? I'm surprised he was allowed out of the pit lane there.
So there you've got the Hondas together. Shedden keeping Matt Neal at bay. Colin Turkington trying to get away from Jason Plato up the road as well. This is Shedden's view, staring at the back of Jason Plato now.
Yeah, this is okay for Shedden. He's fine. He can sit here. Plato's not going to take too many points or Turkington off him. He can just sit here. He'd probably be more worried about, well, he's got Matt Neal behind him, so that's great for the Hondas. Look, he's got his rear gunner there ahead because Neal has got in front of Prio. Perfect position for the Hondas.
Away now through Sheen Curve. Matt Jackson is getting away up front. Smith defending for Morgan. Shot here last year, remember, but then made that mistake, put him off the road. He got the win after Jason Plato was given a time penalty in race 2 for contact against Colin Turkington. And bear in mind as well, as we talk about the race situation, it is their lap times that will sort out the grid for race 2. So give them another couple of laps since we've been released from behind the safety car, and then that classification starts to take effect. Jackson leads the way over the timing line, 3 laps in the book now. as he heads over the line with 1.3 seconds, being the margin, 16 laps the distance because of the safety car period. Smith and Morgan second and third. Turkington is fourth ahead of Plato, then it's Shedden in sixth.
And remember, Plato is on the soft tyre, so he'll be both mindful of setting a quick lap time while that car is tyre is at its peak, but also trying to look after it as well. And because this is a long lap and it's quite a high degradation circuit due to the length, that fastest lap will only come in these next sort of couple of laps maximum. At the moment, Jack Ingram actually has the fastest lap, as I say that, in front of Goff, Jackson and Moffat, but that may change over the next lap.
In this gaggle, this long line, is Rob Collard, who is in 11th place, having started 18th. So we know that Rob races well. You know what the next part of the sentence is about qualifying. But here he's proving his racecraft. He's on the back of Sam Tornoff as well as they work their way through Hawthorns. If only he could start higher up the grid regularly. There have been days this year when in qualifying he has gone well, other days where he struggled a little bit, but you can always depend on Rob to make progress in the race. He's behind Tornoff and ahead of James Cole in the other white Ford Focus as they work their way up towards Sterling's now. But Matt Jackson is the race leader. There, Josh Cook staying on the back of Andy Prio. Remember, he got that podium at Rockingham, went rapidly at Silverstone and going well here as well.
Yeah, the BMWs were struggling a little bit in qualifying to get enough heat into their tyres. Remember, they don't generate as much heat as the front-wheel drive cars. And also, Rob Collard complaining about lack of straight-line speed, which has been a little bit their Achilles heel all year, and just didn't manage to hook onto the back of anybody when his tyres were right to pick up a tow.
Now the fastest lap, Matt Jackson. Second fastest lap, Aaron Smith. Third fastest lap, Adam Morgan. So it's the top three in the race, the top three provisionally on the grid for race 2. So those that started from the pit lane, even though they have been going quickly, we haven't yet seen their equivalent lap compared to the race leaders to see whether they are still fighting for pole. Now Jason Plato has lost a bit of ground to Colin.
He's only good enough for 6th at the start of race 2, so he will know that.
On board with Shedden, he's still on the tail of Jason Plato. The parents look on for the pit bunker as they work their way through Hawthorns, and Stuart Lyons is off the road. Not for the first time this weekend, I'm afraid. Stuart Lyons has been in quite a bit of difficulty over the course of the weekend. Off the road a number of times. This time he is stuck fast in the gravel bed. Is that going to be another interruption, I wonder, to get him out of the way as the battle here that he's on for 5th, 6th, 7th and back works its way up towards Sterling's. Plato has got Shedden crawling all over him now. Matt Neal is right there as well. Then it's Prio, then it's Cook, then it's Tornoff, Collard, and this is Matt Neal's view, heading down again through Clearways.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be a very particularly quick lap at all for Plato. Maybe he's got a problem, or maybe he's decided safety car is out again. Safety car is out, so he'll have time to think about this, but maybe he has decided the best thing he could do is to back the pack up, and even though Matt Neal is behind Shedden, maybe Prio or one of the other cars behind Cook, Tornoff, whatever, might start falling over themselves and maybe cause Shedden a problem. I don't know, but certainly Plato seemed to have lost some pace, didn't he?
Absolutely right. So he was falling away, partly because of pace. Also, he then had to defend, which is going to make him go slower as well. They'll bunch up again now. How long is it going to be to get Stuart Lyons' car out of the gravel? He had one lap earlier behind the safety car. And so Gordon Shedden, like everybody, can just gather his thoughts. And this was how Stuart Lyons ended up in the gravel. This is going into Surtees. Tony Gillam is behind, but Stuart just running in too wide.
Didn't get the car slowed down enough for the corner, really, and just ran on wide. Just couldn't make the corner at the speed he was going in. Either a sort of late braking error, but he didn't really lock up. He just ran wide, just carried too much speed in.
Nervous faces up and down the pit lane, aren't there? Many of which are in the Team BMR garage. There is Gordon Shedden then. We are currently on lap number 6. Race distance will be extended again up to a maximum of 18 with this safety car period. Gordon Shedden hard at work then behind the wheel of the car, talking to the team about the situation, about who is where, and probably about lap times as well.
Well, there's a lot to talk about. Yes. He'll be wondering what on earth Plato is doing, and that's certainly what I'd be asking him if we got the opportunity. But they'll be trying to work it out. Should he try and push on through and risk overtaking, or can he afford to sit there and let Matt Neal protect the rear? But how long can they do that for if Plato really slows the pace down? Can Matt Neal do a tardy restart from the safety car to at least buy a bit of a gap in front? So many things could play out here on the restart.
There's so much to look for in the BTCC, and we are not done yet. And this is race 1, as the drivers then will head down towards Clark Curve towards the end of the lap shortly. This is the recovery operation up at Surtees. Stuart Lyons having gone a long way off and a long way through that gravel. It's going to be at least one more lap, but the good news is once he's out of the gravel, there's an access road to quickly get him back into the pit lane.
But that 4x4 vehicle is going to be totally inadequate to pull that car out unless he can get all 4 wheels on the grass and the tarmac. That car's buried.
Good and proper Stuart, who's gone well in national racing, club level, but stepping up to the BTCC this year, and I think we'll appreciate how hard it has been, but really enjoys competing in the championship. Rarely does he not have a big smile on his face, even though he's found life rather difficult at the back, not the front of the field. Mrs. Turkington looking on in the one side of Team BMR's garage, and Colin is in 4th place at the moment. Recap of the order: it's Matt Jackson, Aaron Smith, Adam Morgan 3rd. In 4th it is Colin Turkington, Jason Plato 5th, Shedden 6th, Neil 7th, 8th Prio, 9th Cook, 10th Tordoff. And
a good time to look at the fastest lap set so far, because it's probably unlikely to change significantly now. And at the moment we've got Matt Jackson on pole for race 2, followed by Aaron Smith and Adam Morgan. As you say, the top 3 from this race. Tom Ingram would start 4th after an excellent time he set, and Jack Goff 5th, but Plato 6th, Newsham, Turkington, Shedden would only be 12th, and Neil would only be 16th. So that would put some work on for them in the second race.
Wouldn't it ever? So very jumbled. Those that have lost out by this, incidentally, Alain Menu, who was one of those that hit it at the end of the green flag lap and was the first of the 3 drivers out of the pits, he's only got the 29th best lap time.
And this could be another thing. It could be that Plato knows that Shedden and Neil haven't got very quick lap times, and maybe he's deliberately slowing them down now to prevent them getting a quick lap time for race 2 when he knows he's going to start 6th. That could be in the thinking as well.
Because we know Jason knows every trick in the book, and he thinks long and hard about all of this. That's why he was the first to roll the dice for a pit lane start this year. That's how the championship stands at the moment, if things were to stay as they are. And things are a little difficult over at Surtees.
Like I said, the vehicle is totally inadequate for the job required.
So Marshall's hard at work, field behind the safety car. There is Matt Neal, of course, as Tim has made the point, acting as rear gunner here behind Gordon Shedden. And Gordon 6th, Matt Neal in 7th place, as the drivers turn their way through Druids at the moment. Jason Plato there is running in 5th spot. And there is Gordon Shedden. So they come along Cooper Straight and on board with Shedden now. So race order, Matt Jackson still the leader. Of course, nothing can change under the safety car, or shouldn't change under the safety car like this. The lights still flash, the boards are there, the yellow flag shown by the marshals. We've got another driver in the pit lane, which is one of the Volkswagens. I fear it's Alain Menu who just crawled down the pit road. If he has a problem, why the lap times aren't so good. There it is, Alain Menu indeed in the pit lane. It's great to have him back in the championship, but he missed virtually all of free practice 1 with a power steering issue. He got traffic in the way in qualifying, and now more problems.
Yeah, and he hasn't set a lap time, so he's going to have to start at the back, 29th at the moment, out of the 30, with only Alex Martin not set a time. So it's not been a good comeback for poor Alain. I think he was looking forward to it immensely. I think he did a good job in qualifying. As you say, he lost free practice 1. But problems in that car. I wonder if this is a legacy of the shunt at Silverstone. You never know, sometimes things carry over.
Can they get him out for just a handful of laps at the end and see what he might be able to do for a lap time? Alain, I'm not a great fan of the way that the grids are decided, but if he's going to lose this race and therefore the lap time and therefore be at the back of the race too, he'll be even more dischuffed with the whole thing. There is Colin Turkington, who is the 2nd best placed of the Volkswagen drivers. Remember, there's Aaron Smith ahead and Jason Plato behind, as the field turns its way through Clark Curve once more. And under the safety car, we understand there have been more dramas. We'll catch up on it now, because coming through Sheen Curve, running way wide, was Dan Welch in the Proton. How do you do that under the safety car?
I really don't know. Sometimes things drivers do baffle even me, but no, I really can't understand. I would hate to suggest that the pace under the safety car was too quick even for Dan Welsh, but there we go.
Well, he's made it back to the pit lane.
Yeah.
And
can I ask you, Dave, you said earlier that the drive would be dischuffed. Is that a official word?
Absolutely.
Dischuffed.
Yes.
Okay.
Pass me your thesaurus and I'll prove it to you.
Okay. I'm sure the team are pretty dischuffed with that.
It's catching, isn't it, this word? Yes. So we're going to go back to racing this time around, I understand. Can Dan Welch go back into the race? Needs to make sure there's no gravel anywhere nasty, but fingers crossed we should be good to go at the end of this lap. And Matt Jackson once again has to control the pace.
Yeah, he will do. I think he's in a pretty good space. He's pulled away twice, once at the start, once after the first restart, and he knows he's got the car under him. You know, that car now is well proven. It's quick with no ballast. He seemed to have initially the measure of Aaron Smith, so we just need to do this restart. All eyes, though, will be on the Clayton, Shed and Neil group.
And the drivers now getting themselves back into the zone, ready to go racing. What can Turkington do about Adam Morgan? What can Gordon Shedden do about Jason Plato? Matt Neal with his great view of his teammate. Don't forget, even though we talk about Matt as a rear gunner, mathematically he is still in with a chance of winning the championship. It's an outside chance, but he's still there mathematically. And Gordon Shedden on the back of Plato as they turn their way through Stirling's. We're going to be up to 18 laps now. They accelerate away. We're going to go back racing this time around. Can anybody go with Matt Jackson? Aaron Smith is the man doing his best. Turkington's on the back of Adam Morgan for third place as they head up towards the timing line. We're going to go racing again.
And Prio has made a terrible start. Matt Neal didn't have to hang back from Shedden. Look at the gap behind Neal to Prio.
Yeah, the BMW has dropped away, and Josh Cook may think about making a move here as they work their way from paddock up towards Druids, but the race is back on then. Lap 10 of 18. Matt Jackson leads the way as they head up towards Druids. What is going to happen behind? Well, Smith stays second. Morgan is still there in third spot. Tordov looking for a way to get past Cook, who wants to get past Prio as they dive downhill. Lap 10 of 18. There is the race leader, Matt Jackson, ahead of Aaron Smith. Then Adam Morgan with Turkington in fourth place.
Yeah, I think Prio actually may have done that deliberately to give himself some room to set a fast lap time, because remember, the BMWs take a few more laps to get the tyres up to temperature, so it may actually have been deliberate manoeuvre by Prio. Look, he is actually catching Neil on this lap, and he's weaving to get a bit of extra heat in the tyres, so I think this is Prio going for an extra fast lap time.
And he's dropping Josh Cook as well, isn't he? So the pace is there now. He's pulling away, as you say. And again, still trying to get the warmth into the tyres. Matt Neal has fallen back a little bit from Gordon Shedden, but if he can see Prio bearing down on him, he may need to sacrifice a little bit of pace to try and keep Andy behind. Make sure the BMW can't get up onto the tail of Shedden, who is now really starting to attack Plato once again. Now, what do we expect now with the remaining, what have we got, 8 laps or so, in terms of tyre life, the softs for Jason Plato?
Well, this is true. He may start to suffer. I mean, the tyre has had a couple of heat cycles with the safety car coming out, but it's still quite cool here. And we'll have to wait and see. He's the only front-running car on the soft tyre. See whether it'll last. But I don't think it will.
Let's find out then, because there he's got Shedden behind him and thinking about a move on the inside of paddock, but Gordon's going to have to take a big, deep breath. He's going to commit up the inside. Jason runs wide up the curve, heading towards Druids now. Plato defends the inside line. Is Gordon going to think about making a move, or is he just going to sit there and take the points? Well, if he can take more points than he's currently on, he will seize the opportunity. Through Graham Hill Bend now.
There's nothing to be gained for him trying to overtake Plato. Plato's only gaining 1.
We've got Rob Collard up a place as well. Incidentally, on this lap, he's broken into the top 10 now at the expense of teammate Tordov. There's Prio, there is Cook behind him, and a charging Rob Collard. He's always great to watch, and Rob Collard now trying to work out where he can find a way past Josh Cook. In his first year in the championship, Josh, running with more experienced touring car racers, runner-up in the Clio Cup last year. He's got Collard right on his tail as they head into Clark Curve again. Yeah,
and Collard has passed Tordov on this lap. He's absolutely on a charge, as we know so well. He was so disappointed that Ricky, his son, dropped out from winning, or potential to win, the MSA Formula Championship, and he's aiming to put on a good show for the family today.
He's working his way up, remember, from a lowly 18th on the grid as the cars arrive at Druids once again, but Cook has caught up to Prio once more, taking Collard with him, so that battle pack is going to grow once more. Jackson leads by a second from Aaron Smith. Morgan is still third. There they are, heading along Cooper Straight with Shedden still on the tail of Plato, but not yet towards Hawthorns.
And there were some quickest laps done on the last lap. In fact, Dave Newsham set his quickest lap that puts him fourth quickest.
Hits, and now up to fourth on the next race grid.
Yeah.
Funny old game this. So through Sheen Curve into Stirlings comes now the situation for fourth and fifth. Now, are BMR in a position to try and sacrifice Smith to help Turkington? They can't really without a Morgan between them, can they?
No, they can't, and it wouldn't make enough difference anyway, I don't think. And Matt Neal, he's trying to get second in the championship, but in all honesty, with Turkin and Plato scoring well, in this race, he's better off just helping Shedden.
Indeed so. Race leaders are through onto lap 13 now. Jackson's advantage creeping up, 11/10. Matt Neal onto the tail of Shedden now. And look up the road. Plato has escaped, hasn't he now? If they came over the timing line, the gap had gone up to 6/10 of a second, whereas they were nose to tail a little earlier.
Yeah, still some gamesmanship going on in terms of trying to get that fastest lap and creating gaps we wouldn't normally see. So difficult to read this race. Prio has gone quicker on the lastest lap. He's put himself up to 7th for the next race, interestingly in front of Plato.
The story continues. It's going to be fascinating all day. Collard on the back of Cook. This is for race position rather than championship. Cook 9th, Collard is 10th, and they are absolutely together as they work their way now towards Pilgrim's Drop once again.
I wonder if there'll be some discussion about whether it's the right thing to do, that you can put the car in the gravel, cause a safety car, then come back out and set a lap time that'll put you fourth on the grid for race 2, as Cook gets very wide there. Remember, he's running some of the RML new Toka parts for next year. Most interesting, the steering box and steering system, which all the drivers have complained about since it came out, and he reports the new system is absolutely fantastic. So the other drivers can't wait to get that on their car. I know a lot of cars still have binding going through Paddock and Hawthorns. Here's the fastest laps and therefore the grid though for race 2, as we see coming back onto the track. That is Rob Austin in the 101 car.
So Jackson for provisional pole for race 2. Andrew Jordan was a driver that gave up grid position to start in the pit lane. He has not broken into the top 10, unfortunately. Andrew is 11th, in fact, looking into the current standings for the grid for race 2. Can he squeeze anything else out of the MG before the end of this race? Unlikely, perhaps now. They're Collard and Tordorf run together. Matt Jackson's advantage up front, extending a little bit further. We're on that 14 of 18, and the gap is 1.4 seconds now.
Yeah, just looking at Plato's lap times to see how he's doing. His last lap time was a very competitive lap time, so no problem on the tyres at the moment.
And he's catching Turkington again, isn't he? The gap came down by 3/10 last time. So Turkington is 4th, Plato is 5th, but there you can see the two Volkswagens. The gap between them is reduced. Shedden is next in the queue in 6th, more points in the bank as far as the championship is concerned. And Plato only one position up the road. So Jason Plato heading for 5th, 11 points, 6th for Shedden, just 1 point difference in what they score.
Well, I wonder if, there's so many ways you could read this. I wonder if Plato was looking after that soft tyre early in the race.
Maybe.
He's certainly got plenty of excuses if he's accused of backing the track up. He could have been doing a number of things, but it did help. And in fact, him now getting his foot down. Oh, and Jeff Smith's gone off. That looks like the exit of Sheen Curve again. It's a blind right hand, a great corner when you get it wrong, but very punishing when you don't. But that gap here we see a replay. Oh, he turned in on the grass, but that isn't the way to do it.
Right.
And lucky to stay out of the barriers. Look, he lights up the front to bring the front round and pulls it out very nicely, actually.
Big old moment, wasn't it?
But that Plato getting his foot down enabled Shedden to do a faster lap on the last lap as well. So that's moved Shedden up to 12th for the second race.
As there, Aidan Moffat is on the outside of Hunter Abbott as they work their way through Druids. This is the 14th. Abbott is ahead just. Aidan Moffat on the grass, heading downhill. He breaks as late as he can and through he goes. Aidan Moffat gains the place up on the inside, diving into Graham Hill Bend. That is for 14th place. Hunter Abbott hasn't given up yet in Sherman 2. it's both the Shermans here, not Panzer. His regular car too badly damaged after Silverstone, so he's gone back to one of Rob Austin's very early race chassis, but he's lost the place, and Aidan Moffat, grass and all, gains the place.
Never seen an overtake quite like that before. I thought he was out of control and would spear straight on, but he managed to get the car stopped. So I suppose you have to say fair play to Aidan Moffat, and a rallycross career certainly beckons.
Absolutely. Well, he's another man that's come out of oval racing, so talk about that as the school of hard knocks, and Aidan knows a trick or two. There's one he's just displayed. So he's ahead now of Hunter Abbott. He's gained a position. He's 14th in the second of the Mercedes-Benz A-Class, and he works his way out of Sterling's now. Next target for him is Mike Bushell, going strongly in 13th up the road. Jackson leading. Smith is second. 1.6 seconds between them. Morgan is third. Then it's Turkington, Plato. Shedden is next. Then Neal, Prio, Cook, and to round out the top 10 is Collard. We're on to lap number 16 out of 18 in this first of 3 races. Matt Neal back onto the tail of Gordon Shedden here.
Yeah, they've spaced out just a little bit now, haven't they? So the remaining interest really is going to be, can Plato's soft tyres hang on? Certainly had a help in looking after them at the start of this race with the 2 safety cars. Bunch very well. I know he wants to come back for more next year, but I think he's got very well in the second half of the year, James Cole.
Definitely. As Andy Prio is going well in these final few laps of the race. Been great to have Andy back on the grid this season in the Team IHG Rewards Club BMW, because he's now hunting down Matt Neal, creeping up onto the back of him. And Andy, who has been delighted to be winning races again, and also having his profile raised in the UK after his exploits in the World Championship, in the DTM, racing in America, back on home soil, winning many new fans, reacquainting himself with old friends, and winning races once more.
And according to Autosport magazine this week, one of the highest paid British drivers out there. More money even than Jason Plato.
There's a thought. What about Matt Jackson? He's on for another win, at least, as he comes over the timing line, because that now puts 16 in the book. 2 to go. David Bartram of Motorbase Performance having a quick word with Dan Mayo, the championship coordinator, down in the pit lane. And Matt Jackson's advantage, 1.4 seconds now, with this lap and 1 more to go. And I know we keep saying it, but if only Motorbase Performance had been able to do the whole season, it could be such a different story going into this weekend of who is fighting for the championship.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have been carrying weight, and that would have mixed things up, perhaps made things look a little bit more even. Of course, he'll be carrying maximum ballast for race 2 if he pulls off this win, and will start on pole position. But it's certainly been a fantastic performance by Jackson and Motorbase, and I am absolutely sure there'll be some big announcements and news to come about their programme for next year.
Jack Goff, in the meantime, in the 888 MG, looking for a way to get himself up past Derek Palmer in the Infiniti. Andrew Jordan's ahead of the pair of them, so Jordan has gained a place on this lap. Now Jack Goff goes through as well, so the Infiniti dropping down a little bit. The MGs currently are 19th and 20th. Now Collard is still looking for a way past Josh Cook. He hasn't been able to do it yet, but not for the want of trying.
No, certainly has. He's been all over, glued to the back bumper the whole race, really, since he got past Tordov.
Matt Jackson leading the way still. He's about to come through to start the last lap. Motorbase looking for a 60th podium finish. That's going to come because Matt Jackson there breaks the timing beam to start the last lap of round 28 of the championship. Through paddock he goes. Aaron Smith in second. Frustrating year for Aaron. Some mechanical dramas, some self-induced dramas, but yet again he shows the potential. He shows the pace that he's got. He's running in second, and Adam Morgan in third position. Once more, looking good for a podium position with Colin Turkington 4th, Plato 5th, Shedden 6th.
Yeah, so it's looking like part 1 of the 3-part title showdown is going to go Shedden's way, but he's going to be mired down the grid for race 2. That order now set, and Shedden will be 13th on the grid with Matt Neal 14th and Plato in 8th for race 2.
So that grid is going to give us a very lively race, that's for sure. You change the ballast around, of course, as well. And you change the tyres around for some drivers also. So race 2 is going to be another absolute stormer as Gordon Shedden thinks about points here. You can see Jason Plato gapping him up the road, but he's only going to take 1 point out of him as Matt Jackson works his way towards Sterling's for the final time. He's heading for another victory. It's going to be for Matt. 24th career victory in the BTCC. Aaron Smith there in second spot, Adam Morgan third, and then those still fighting for the championship are going to be headed by Turkington, because he will be fourth as they work their way through Clark for the last time. The checkered flag is at the ready, and Matt Jackson is going to come through to win round 28 of the British Touring Car Championship at Brands Hatch. Motorbase Performance's 60th podium at its home circuit. Matt Jackson wins, Aaron Smith takes second, Adam Morgan is third, Turkington fourth, Plato fifth, Shedden sixth, Neil is seventh, Prio is eighth, Cook ninth, Collard is 10th across the timing line, and there Mike Bushell caught at the end by Aidan Moffat for 13th, but Aidan ran out of laps to try to get close enough to make a move. But a really gritty performance from the young Scotsman.
Yeah, good racing throughout. Fairly static, lots to talk about, but not too much action. But race 2 is going to provide an absolute humdinger, isn't it? And most of the drivers will be on the soft tyre, which it has to be said held on very well with Plato. His times were competitive right the way through to the end. His last lapper was a 33.1, 1 minute 33.1, and the leader, Matt Jackson, doing a 1:33.2. So perfectly competitive. So it signifies that the soft tyre won't be a disadvantage perhaps in race 2.
And Gordon Shedden takes yet more points. He loses one to Jason Plato, but that's not the end of the world, is it? 2 more races still to go.
No, like I said, part 1 of the 3-part trilogy plays out fine for Gordon Shedden.
So what's the mood in the car now? Relief?
Good relief, but anticipation about race 2. He'll be immediately focusing on race 2, because you click off each section of the weekend, and now that's that one done, needs to move on to race 2, and he won't be a fan of this system of fastest laps, but Alan Gow will, won't he? He'll love this, and the stage is set for an interesting part 2.
Indeed so. Gordon Shedden will carry 33 kilos into the race, but start from 13th, make that 12th on the grid. I correct it because the screen is correcting, because the fastest lap time has been removed for Jeff Smith, and also fastest lap time removed for Rob Collard for track limits. So grid will be slightly jumbled, but Gordon Shedden will be 12th with 33 kilos of weight on board going into race 2. Matt Jackson is going to be the man who starts on pole position. David Bartram will be a very happy team boss. He had to work long and hard to get the cars on track for the second half of the season. They arrived at Snetterton with this almost virgin white livery, no backing, and James Cole, Matt Jackson, the 2 drivers, having been on the sidelines all year, itching to go racing. Snetterton was an event that showed the potential, but then when we got to Knock Hill, then you could really see how good the car and engine package was. There is Matt Jackson then, who arrives into the TOCA technical check at the end of the pit lane. Behind him is Aaron Smith in the Team BMR Volkswagen CC. The ride height of the car is checked, and then once the scrutineers are happy, the cars will be way forward down towards the presentation area, and expect a raucous cheer from Motorbase Performance. Results of round 28 of the BTCC. Matt Jackson, the winner, ahead of Aaron Smith, Adam Morgan third. 4th, Colin Turkington, ahead of Jason Plato and Gordon Shedden 6th. 7th, Matt Neal, then it's Andy Prio in 8th, Josh Cook 9th, and Rob Collard rounds out the top 10. Sam Tordoff is 11th, ahead of James Cole and Mike Bushell. Lively driving from Aidan Moffat, nets 14th, ahead of Martin Depper and Hunter Abbott, with the returning Jake Hill 17th. Rob Austin 18th, and from the pit lane, Andrew Jordan and Jack Goff 19th and 20th. 21st, Derek Palmer. He's ahead of Tony Gillam and Simon Belcher. Jeff Smith, after his gravelly moment, 24th. Tom Ingram, 25th, sacrificing the race with a pit stop for a lap time. Dave Newsham, gravel, pit lane, but 26th. Dan Welch, Alain Menu, Stuart Lyons and Alex Martin, all in the wars for differing reasons. For the championship, it is Shedden from Plato, 22 points between them, and then you have a further 29 back from from Gordon Shedden now. Colin Turkington with Matt Neal 4th, then it's Tordoff, Jordan, Morgan, Prio, Collard and Goff to round out the top 10. But Colin Turkington, by staying ahead of Plato and Shedden in the race, just creeping back into the mix. Matt Jackson. Come on! Larger than life character to congratulate his drivers. Aaron Smith happy with second place and a natural second. He didn't have to think too much about teammates, think about championship points. He was able to drive his own race there. And Matt Jackson, it is a race winner. He can tell us all about it. with Steve Ryder.
Matt Jackson, well done. I think it's fair to say you've won the Autumn Championship after your performance in the last 3 meetings. Tell us about what seemed to be a trouble-free victory.
Yeah, obviously, you know, we've got the luxury of no success ballast, and you know, for qualifying puts us in the best spot. And you know, the boys have worked so hard to get this chassis to go around the corners. It's just amazing. You know, it's great to be in the position that we're in.
Success ballast comes for the next race, so too does pole position. Thoughts for that?
Yeah, obviously pole, brilliant. Success ballast, we could leave it behind, but it's not going to be that easy in the next one. You know, 75 kilos, we're where Gordon is, so you know, in race 1. We've got to wait and see. All we can do, we're in the best place. Hopefully we can get our head down and win another. But I'm sure there's a few guys out there that want to change that.
Yeah, I know it's a season of if-onlys for you and the team. If only you'd been there for the whole season, you'd be part of the big mix this afternoon.
Yeah, we'd like to think so. You know, we've been in the mix for many years, and it was frustrating not to take the start of the year. But you know, we've come back strong, and hopefully this is good for next year.
Well done. Once again, it's great to see you and the team on winning form. Matt Jackson winning our opening touring car race. We will take a break and then we'll get the verdict of championship leader Gordon Shedd.
Jackson it is who starts on pole position. Aaron Smith with him at the front. And then you've got Adam Morgan and Dave Newsham on the second row. And some drivers still thinking about points, other drivers still thinking about, in a rather selfish way, their own championships, their own races, their own results to try and show to teams for next year. So, as ever, there's a lot to look for, Tim.
Yes, well, Jason was alluding to that very
yes.
fact. It can only be talking about one man, and that, of course, is Aaron Smith, who drove off into the distance and finished second, albeit with Adam Morgan behind him. But we understand he was told to drop back and give Jason the extra points, and didn't. If that's true, he probably might regret that come team contract time next year.
Jason and Colin, of course, Colin ahead, so it would have helped both of the drivers. But as the cars work their way through paddock, Aaron Smith again could be very useful because he's there on the front row of the grid.
He is, but of course this time both the front cars have maximum ballast on. 75 kilos for Matt, 60 for Aaron. That's going to make a big difference, and certainly, you know, although they've got some work to do, you know, Jason has dropped some weight, he's down to 39, but it's going to be the progress of Matt Neal and Gordon Shedd.
So this is the grid. Matt Jackson and Aaron Smith at the front. They're on the soft tyres. That is row 1. Row 2, Adam Morgan and Dave Newsham. Again, the pair of them on the softer tyre. Tom Ingram sacrificed the result in race 1. He's on the 3rd row alongside Jack Goff, who did likewise. Then you have Andy Prio lining up on the soft tyre. And Jason Plato, this time, he's going to be 8th. 9th on the grid, Colin Turkington. Jeff Smith will start 10th. And then 11th is where you find Andrew Jordan. 12th this time, Sam Tordoff. They're both on softs, ahead of the Hondas of Gordon Shedden and Matt Neal. Both of them on the softer rubber. Rob Collard and Josh Cook are on row 8, both on softs. Row 9, Aidan Moffat and James Cole. Moffat's Mercedes on the soft tyres, ahead of Jake Hill and Martin Depper, who is on the soft compound. Row 11, Rob Austin and Mike Bushell, the Audi on the soft tyres. Row 12, Hunter Abbott on the softs and Derek Palmer's Infinity. The 13th row, Tony Gillam and Simon Belcher. He's on the soft tyre. Row 14 is Dan Welch. He's on the soft tyre. Alain Menu after an alternator problem in race 1 for company. Stuart Lyons and Alex Martin complete the grid. So the cars then working their way onto the Grand Prix part of the circuit. There is Gordon Shedden, who this time around finds himself mired almost in midfield. Cars all around him, some of which are connected to the championship battle. Others, he's less certain of what they're going to do. Yeah, but he's just got to rely on his innate touring car experience as Aidan Moffat comes into the pits. This must be for a problem. Remember, grid 3, nothing to do with fastest laps, so it must be for a problem. But he's got to rely on his, his own innate sense of experience and skill, and he's perfectly capable of negotiating his way through and getting a good result. He knows he's got a very quick car under him. He's lost some ballast. He'd actually be looking forward to this, but hoping to put the unpredictable issues out of the way. Here's the ballast for round 29. Matt Jackson carries 75 kilos. Again, Aaron Smith gains lots of weight. He's on 66. Adam Morgan goes up to 57. Colin Turkington has 48. Jason Plato loses weight. He's on 39. Gordon Shedden loses weight as well, and he will carry 33 into the race. Still a glorious day at Brands Hatch. The sun is shining and the field turning its way through Stirlings. And there's the champion situation as we stand with 2 rounds to go. Jason Plato, 22 points behind Gordon Shedden, just picked up 1 point from the first race.
Colin Turkington 29. He was 32 behind, so he's picked up a ton. But it's much warmer now. The majority of the field on the soft tyres, and that soft tyre should actually last very well and be very good. Certainly in the initial laps, it should be substantially quicker than the medium. So opportunity to make hay while those tyres are at their best.
And after this race, there are 22 points still on offer. 20 for a win, 1 for leading a lap, and also there is going to be the point for the fastest lap. So if Gordon Shedden were to be 22 points ahead at the end of this, it is potentially conceivable that they could be tied on points at the end. But then you come down to a tie-break and win. So it's going to be one of those races where it's one eye on the track and one on the calculator as we go through 15 laps. But as ever, there will be a race to enjoy. And for the first time, Matt Jackson will have maximum ballast and the soft tyre. David Bartram saying, we're not quite sure how this one's going to go. The team principal at Motorbase Performance. But the whole squad up for the challenge as the grid under a cloudless sky at Brands Hatch. Far cry from the last couple of 3 seasons where it's been a wet day. Everybody then enjoying the weather and enjoying the racing. And so the last driver into place at the back of the grid should be Alex Martin. But by the look of it, that car is absent from the grid. Aidan Moffat is going to start from the pit lane. He's made his way down to the end. And Alex Martin absent after his damage sustained in race 1. 2 races left in the 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. This is the first of them. It's round 29. The grid is complete just about for the warming up lap. The lights will go red in a moment. The drivers look towards the gantry. Engine notes rise. The lights go out. We're racing, and a good start is made by Matt Jackson. Smith bogs down a little. Adam Morgan tries to get up on the inside. Dave Newsham and Tom Ingram are in the mix as well. Look at Ingram dive up the inside. 3 wide. Prio on the outside. Ingram up the curve on the inside line. Should he gain a place? He will, alongside Newsham as they head up towards Druitt. Jackson leads. Morgan takes a deep breath, goes second. Smith third on the outside, gets sideways. Ingram's going to get through here. Newsham gets a bit delayed by a sliding Smith, and as they head downhill, Jackson has gone, but Morgan is second. Ingram third. Smith, Newsham, and then Jack Goff up ahead of Prio.
A great start by Jackson. It was Aaron Smith that bogged down and found himself on the outside and then got mugged by both Morgan and Ingram, who flew off the line. Round the outside, James Cole got a little touch there. Ends himself round the outside with Matt Neal and Andrew Jordan in front of him.
So that unsettled the Ford, and as the cars dive downhill then for the first time, Matt Jackson trying to make good his escape as Adam Morgan has to defend like mad. He's got Tom Ingram right up behind him. Gordon Shedden trying to work his way through traffic. He's on the back of Jeff Smith. Can he get a run up the inside going for Westfield? There's an opportunity presenting itself. Is he going to be able to take the chance up the inside? No. Jeff Smith cuts across and defends as the field works its way uphill through Dingledale for the first time into Sheen Curve. Matt Neal's on the back of Andrew Jordan as they use the curve and head up towards Stirling's now.
Well, Eurotech have ordered a couple of new type Civic R's like the factory team or the Team Dynamics are running, so maybe Gordon would have expected a bit of extra help there as Hunter Abbott rejoins the track. Looks like a spin coming out of Sheen Curve.
Matt Jackson getting away as there. Dave Newsham and Jack Goff come through absolutely together. Goff on the inside, Newsham in the yellow Chevrolet on the outside. The Power Max Racing, they're big off at the end of the lap. There's an Audi in the dust and there's another car off the road as well. Big off at Clark Curve at the end of the lap as there Goff continues to battle with Newsham heading up the hill. Prio tries to buy into it as well. Plato is in that mix trying to defend and attack all at the same time. Prio to the inside of Newsham. Has he done the job? He's got his nose in front, but he's on the outside line for the next corner, and Newsham dives back through on the inside. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, giving themselves some room at the front and good racing between them. Further back, the accident coming out of the final corner with, it must have been Rob Austin, and it looks like the other Eurotech car.
And there's a third one off, even further back round the corner. There are 3 cars off, 2 we can account for, but there's a third one in the gravel, so I fear this could be another safety car period to add to the list this year. Adam Morgan, yes, we do have the safety car. Adam Morgan is still defending from Tom Ingram, and remember that Adam is the only man in the championship this year who has finished every lap of every race. There he turns his way through Westfield then, and now the safety car boards and the yellow flags will be visible, and there's a bit of clearing up to be done at the end of the lap. Matt Jackson had built a cushion of 1.4 seconds. That is going to disappear as now the race is neutralised, and as I say, we've got 3 cars that need retrieval from the gravel from Clearways all the way round to Clark Curve. Andrew Jordan turning his way out of Stirling's. Down there you can see the yellow lights flashing. They're heading down towards the incident zone, and cars on the left-hand side. Now here, Martin Depper gets sideways. Oof, big whack in the door.
Well, that was nothing to do with the other car that's off, because there's another car off further back. This is a different shot coming across the start-finish line. And you see the end of Deppa just hitting the barriers, and this is on board with Shedden at the start. He gets a little bit of wheel spin and gets overtaken immediately by Collard and teammate Matt Neal. A sensible, very careful run really through paddock on that first lap. Moving to the outside now, looking to stay out of trouble. So a very sensible first lap from Shedden. He's got Jeff Smith in front of him. He's not even getting close. And look, that's Cole, who's come all the way around the outside of him. Cole, we know, gets tapped a little bit at this corner and runs wide. There he goes out. We saw that. Now Shedden's getting stuck in a little bit more with Jeff Smith in front, stretching the legs down the back straight. He'll be looking at this point, not at Jeff Smith, but looking right through his windscreen at what's going on in front. Looking up the inside into Westfield again, partly so he can see what's going on in front. Oh, he had a bit of a moment there. That's where he dropped back and then had to protect the inside as they go down Dingleville towards Sheen Curve, just to stop anyone else coming through.
Well, there is Rob Austin out of the race with damage. I think the third car that we lost is Derek Palmer's Infinity. That's the other one that's off in the gravel. I think perhaps distracted by an accident happening up the road. But the other one we haven't seen through at the end of the opening lap, Derek Palmer in the Infinity. But Martin Deppa's car certainly took a big whack in the side as he got it all sideways and came back across the road. But it's further back in the opposite direction from you looking up towards Clearways behind all of this. But you've got the incident that has taken Derek Palmer off the road as well. So the safety car is on track. We'll be back at Brands right after the break. Safety car on track at Brands Hatch, and the incident down at Clark Curve being sorted out as we ride on board with Gordon Shedden.
Gordon, it's Tim here in comms. Looked like a careful lap you took on the first lap. We were on board with you. How do you see the rest of the race panning out, though?
Yeah, I'll give it a good go. It wasn't the best first laps in a while. Just got edged out in wrong place at the wrong time. So, yeah, not great, but, you know, car's light, so let's give it a go.
You feeling a bit racy now for the rest? Get on with it. Matt's up ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I need to get my finger out and get on with it.
OK, enjoy.
So that is how the championship stands at the moment. 14 points between them because Gordon is outside the points, but Jason's only getting 8 at the moment for running in 8th spot. So both of them need to get on with this, really. But if things stay as they are, it will go down to the final round, and that is something that over the years Jason Plato has been the real master of. What is it, 10 times he's been involved in a championship showdown.
Yeah, but actually only won it once in the last 10 years, in 2010, wasn't it? But, you know, the fact is he's consistently giving himself an opportunity to win the championship. I think it does annoy him. He doesn't want to finish runner-up 5 times, I know, but you know, you are a top-class driver when you're putting yourself in that position every year, and he's doing everything he can this weekend as well. But I think Gordon will make progress. There's David Bartram talking to Matt Jackson. I think it'll definitely help Jackson that so many other cars are on the soft tyre, and this little break, thanks to our Twitter question before this, actually will help those on the soft tyre just to get them at the nice consistent temperature. But himself, Morgan behind, Aaron Smith in 4th, Newsham and Prio out of the top 7, all on the soft tyre. So there's only Goff in 5th and Ingram in 3rd out of those that are on the medium.
So what do we expect their chances to be on the restart, Ingram and Goff specifically?
Well, I think everyone's got the tyres up to temperature now. Everyone's good to go. The tyres are actually right in their best, you know, performance at the moment still. So I think it's just going to be flat-out racing when we get going again, because people are keen to make up some positions, aren't they?
Simple as that. Flat out racing, dead easy. There's Jason Plato working his way behind the safety car that will do at least one more lap, but looking into the distance, I think the road is now clear. The gravel tracks have emptied of errant cars, so fingers crossed at the end of this lap, we should be good to go back to racing. 3 cars have had to be retrieved, that's why it's been a fair few laps under the safety car. We're going to be up to 18 now as the maximum duration. We had a really good spell of no safety cars at all, didn't we, through the summer? We've had quite a few of them of late, but in each race thus far, the safety car has been deployed. Matt Neal currently is in 11th spots. And don't forget that when we left here at the start of the year, Matt and Jack Goff were the joint championship leaders. Since then, it really has, ever since we left Thruxton, been about Gordon Shedden and Jason Plato, because they have been the only 2 drivers at the end of a weekend to have led the championship. And one weekend it would be Gordon at Thruxton, Dalton Park. Jason left as the championship leader. At Croft, Gordon left as the leader. At Snetterton and Knock Hill, Jason Plato was the leader. Gordon Shedden left Rockingham and left Silverstone as the championship leader, and one of them will leave Brands Hatch as the champion.
So on the basis of that, it's likely to be one of those 2, isn't it? Not really going to be Colin Turpington or Matt Neal, which is what we started off the show saying, but yes, the odds certainly favour them. But it shows no one driver has been able to dominate this year, given the different track conditions, given the different sporting regulations. No one driver has dominated. Almost certainly it will go down to the wire, but let's watch the progress as the lights are out on the safety car. Let's watch the restart and the progress of Shedden. He sounded like he didn't really want to talk. He wanted to get back to racing.
Indeed so, and he is about to be able to do that, isn't he? And there are others that want to get on with the racing as well. That's Gordon Shedden's view then, as he works his way behind Jeff Smith up towards Dingledell. So 16th is Gordon Shedden, out of the points for the top 15 plus the fastest lap and for leading a lap across the line. So Matt Jackson is in the box seat. He leads the way. He's on the acceleration then as he comes into Clark Curve. Adam Morgan going with him on the soft tyres. Tom Ingram third then in the Speedworks Motorsport Toyota. He's on the back of the Wings Racing Mercedes and getting away slightly from Aaron Smith there as they come over the timing line. Jackson, Morgan, Ingram, 3 for the race leaders. They dive down towards paddock now to start lap number 7. There is Plato trying to defend from Creo, who has got Sam Tour of hand. Rob Collard right up behind, so the Volkswagen coming under attack from 3 BMWs swarming all over him.
Yeah, they're hunting, aren't they? They're in a pack of BMWs hunting him down. Collard going around the outside there, trying to avoid each other, but they're all over the back of Plato. Plato a little slow on the restart, no reason for that. He has to be absolutely on it.
So 18 laps we're going to be up to because of that safety car period as they turn their way through Surtees onto the Grand Prix section of the circuit once again. And Creo now trying to work away past Plato. Jason doesn't need to be losing positions, does he? So he's going to have to defend as stoically as ever.
I wonder if he's already calling for Aaron Smith to slow down the 2 cars in front. That's Jack Goff and Dave Newsham, who are in 5th and 6th place. But Jackson once again a perfect restart.
And with the maximum ballast on board, the Ford leads the way. Is he going to be able to scarper, or can Adam Morgan stay with him? 57 kilos of weight on the Mercedes. Tom Ingram ballast free, but on the hard tyre, he's running in 3rd spot then as the cars use the curve through Sheen Curve up towards Stirling's. Lap 7 of 18 then. At the start of this lap, Matt Jackson had 3 tenths in hand on the restart. There, Mike Bushell under attack. Alain Menu up to 20th spot. Gained a few places with others going off and his own racecraft, and there'll be more to come before the end as Jackson comes over the timing line ahead. Is Morgan staying with him, or is he dropping away just slightly? He's dropped back by a tenth or so. And now what can Tom Ingram do to try to snaffle 2nd away from the Mercedes?
Yeah, they're sort of following each other at the moment, but they are flat out. They're lapping quickly. Jackson did set the fastest lap on that last lap of 31.9, so he's going quickly, but the others are all equidistant behind him and lapping virtually as quick. Alain Menu, as you say, has picked up his first real racing laps of the year, actually, but he's picked up 8 places after alternator trouble in race 1.
Matt Neal now attacking Tordoff, who dropped back behind Collard a lap ago. Plato got himself up to 7th at the expense of Creo on that last lap. So the championship situation looking a little bit better for Jason. He's scoring. Shedden is still 16th and Gordon is still out of the points.
This is uncharacteristic from Shedden at the moment. The car must be quick with a little bit less weight on it, but whether he's being too cautious or not. Oh, this is a good shot. They're coming up to Westfield up the inside. Don't contact the other car. Manages to slot that in clearly. That was a good move.
And Now the road climbs uphill as they're charging up on the inside of Matt Neal. Sam Tordoff goes back ahead, so Matt Neal drops away. Andrew Jordan is in the mix as well. Look in the Pertec Racing MG right on the back of the Civic Type R. And then behind Jordan, you've got Turkington in 13th as well. The race leaders come up towards the line. The lead gap has come right down. Adam Morgan now, winner here after a penalty to Plato last year, is closing back up onto the tail of Matt Jackson. The gap was 4 tenths, it's down to 3 tenths as they head into paddock, and Tom Ingram is staying with them as well. We've had 10 different winners this year. Ingram would be the 11th different winner if he could find a way through the traffic.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for one of these guys, isn't it, to get a result. Ingram, of course, with no ballast on at all, having set that fast lap time in race 1. He'll see this as a terrific opportunity. He's put Speedworks on the podium. He's looking up the inside. He's put Speedworks on the podium this year already. Now he wants to win.
If Morgan has to defend, Matt Jackson might just be able to extend the advantage, and it is happening because Morgan has to go defensive now. Tom Ingram knows he's got to make this move and make it quickly, otherwise Jackson will build the lead once again. It was 3 for the lead heading into paddock, but Jackson now has got, 2 lengths between him and the opposition. In 4th place, Aaron Smith. Jack Goff, who always goes well around the Grand Prix track here, he's 5th. 6th is Newsham, 7th is Plato, then it's Prio, Collard, Tordoff in the top 10. Shedden's up to 15th, he's got a point.
He's finally got past Jeff Smith, but there's quite a gap, nearly 2 seconds to close down on James Cole in 14th. So now we'll see just how quick he is. As up the inside, don't often see an overtake into Sterling's, but that was a good, clean pass from Matt Neal. He's got back in front of Tordoff.
That's right, so that gives Matt Neal 10th place now. And Gordon Shedden charging on to try and catch up to James Cole. Here are the race leaders. Last lap through, Adam Morgan did the best lap of the race. He's still having to defend from Ingram as there. Dave Newsham goes to the inside of Jack Goff, diving into paddock. Up the curb onto 2 wheels goes Newsham, and through he goes. Good, brave pass up to 5th place, Dave Newsham.
Yeah, Plato's looking for any opportunity he can to make some hay out of this. Coming out of Druids, on board with Plato, down the hill to Graham Hill. Will Jack Goff fight back? But Plato's very quick into the next left-hander. Didn't quite get the run on Jack Goff coming out. Jack Goff's half covering the inside. Will Plato look? He looked, takes a tight line in. Grabs a bit of curve. I saw him practice some wheel spin from the inside front there. Not getting quite as good traction off that corner, but Plato is now looking to pick up some positions.
Indeed so, as he hunts down the MG ahead of him. Car he knows very well from the last 3 seasons. Turning his way out of Moorthorns, and now the run up towards Westfield. Shedden, in the meantime, is still 2.8 seconds back on James Cole, so there is work to do. Matt Jackson has extended the advantage slightly. Adam Morgan doing a good job of defending that second place. Tom Ingram not yet able to find a way through. Every lap he's stuck there behind the Mercedes, so Matt Jackson's advantage looks a little bit more secure. We've got a yellow flag zone out of the middle sector of the lap. As on board with Jason Plato, the cars once again head down towards Clearways, and he's creeping up onto the back of Goff as Dan Welch parks the Proton.
Yeah. An ignominious end to not the best year. Side by side now. Oh, Aaron Smith has moved out the way. He's moved out the way to let the others through, or he's made a mistake. I'm surprised he didn't back them up more. He's slotted back in front of Plato, so maybe it was a mistake. I would have thought he would have backed the others up and let Plato get past them. It would be much easier, but now he's blocking Plato. This will be driving Plato mad.
So is he going to be able to find a way past with a fight or with ease? Let's see. Aaron Smith then, ahead of Jason Plato. Where is Jason going to think about making a move? Is it going to be the inside at Surtees? Not there.
That was a very definite defence from Smith. There was no argument about that. He made a statement there that he is not helping Plato raise his hand. What the hell are you doing?
The yellow flag zone as well, but even so, Jason getting frustrated in the car. He can't yet find a way past his teammate. Now he does. Aaron Smith holds the inside line. Plato comes by.
Well, I imagine the team were absolutely screaming at Aaron Smith to let him through there. He finally relented and moved over, but he could have helped Jason back at Paddock Hill Bend. He could have let him through.
So Jason Plato gains 1 spot thanks to his teammates. How is Gordon Shedden getting on? He's still in 15th and still trying to close on to the back of James Cole. Now up front, don't forget there's a race going on as well as a championship to think about. We've got the race leaders heading into Clark Curve with Jackson, Morgan and Ingram. There they are, covered by not very much at all. You see Alex Martin back in the pit lane, having had a few exploratory laps. And this is a replay of Matt Neal trying to find a way past Rob Collard. Contact, Collard has to hang on to it. That delays Matt Neal a little bit.
Well, that was the corner that Matt Neal passed off, so he's obviously fancies his chances there. He's picked that out as being his favourite corner. Matt always has one where he likes to do his overtaking, but Jackson is still managing to control this race just at the front. Lap times have dropped off a little bit by a second and a half, but they're all still absolutely together. But look at the distance that Jason Plato has lost on Newsham and Goff now. He was right up behind there. And similarly, look, Shedden has not made any progress in front of Jeff Smith. He hasn't closed that gap down to Cole at all. In fact, it's gone out to 4.7 seconds. What's going on with Shedden?
And also, Turkington is struggling because he's down in 13th place and not being able to make any progress either. We know the Volkswagens are pretty quick around here. We know that Colin is quick, of course, the reigning champion, but he's not making progress either. So, curious for some drivers, but yes, Gordon Shedden not making the progress anticipated. The gap has gone up, as Tim says, it's now 4.7 seconds that he is adrift from James Cole. This is how the championship situation looks. Narrowed margin between the top two, down to 13 points.
And of course, crucially, remember, it's anything from 6th till 10th that get reversed, and Gordon Shedden is not in that top 10, and it's not actually anywhere near it. He's in 15th. Plato is in the top 6, he's 6th, so he's guaranteed a front row or a front position to start.
So what can Shedden do? Matt Neal looks for a way past Aaron Smith on the inside at paddock. That doesn't work. Matt also having to think about his own championship situation relative to Colin Turkington. And of course for 5th, Sam Tordoff got ahead of Andrew Jordan in the previous race. This is the view round Druids now. They're on board with Neal. Downhill they come. Aaron Smith just ahead. So Smith down in 7th place now. Matt Neal is up into 8th. The triple champion who you can never discount, working his way up the order. Got through the BMWs. Now what can he do about Aaron Smith, who of course will make life as difficult as possible for the Honda? Jackson's lead last time, just 4/10 of a second. And Matt Neal now tries to have another go at Aaron Smith heading downhill.
He won't do it on the outside unless Smith runs a little bit deep and he can get a cut back. He's tried to do it, a little bit of a bobble from Smith's car, but Smith immediately covers the inside into Westfield. Very fast corner, bumpy on the exit. Can Matt Neal, he'll be setting himself up for through this next corner into Serling, sorry. This is where he likes it. Will he dive up the inside? Ooh, he looked. Oh, he hits. Oh, he put sideways, but just Aaron Smith holds on.
He knows he's in a race now, doesn't he, Aaron Smith? And look, Matt Neal's about to lose out if he's not careful, because diving up the inside, Rob Collard tries to buy into this as well. Matt Neal on the outside, he can't get past the Volkswagen, and here comes Collard, elbows out. Rob, winner here at the start of the year, is alongside Matt Neal. Over the timing line they come. Behind them you've got Brio, you've got Jordan in the mix as well. There's Turkington, Collard and Neal for position. Into paddock, Rob Collard goes through.
Oh, good racing, taking advantage of that opportunity. Rob drove really well there. And look at the gap. Hold on, where was Shedden there? Shedden's come through 18. Shedden's got a problem, he must have a problem. He's come through 18th, he's dropping back even further. This could be his championship disintegrating, because at the moment Shedden is going to be out of the points. There he is, he's dropped right back.
He's lost 2 more on that lap. He's behind Mike Bushell, so he's now down into 20th spot as Ingram is on the back of Morgan for 2nd place. Morgan having to defend, but Shedden is looking at no points in this race and a really dire grid position heading into race 3.
Yeah, and this is advantage Plato at the moment, because he'll be near the front. Oh, look, this is what happened. No, that's Shedden. That's Shedden running wide. He had a problem halfway through Hawthorns and lost the back end and then got muscled out.
Ingram 2nd, he's ahead of Morgan. Tom Ingram is through in the Toyota. The Speedworks car ahead of the Wicks Racing car now. So Tom Ingram has managed to find his way through into 2nd place. What can he do with no ballast about Matt Jackson? They're about to complete lap 14. And Gordon Gordon Shedden is complaining of losing straight line speed. He's on the radio to the team, but the championship dream might be starting to unravel. There's the race to think about where they're all bunching up at the head of the field, and Plato is closing on this leading line.
Well, it only takes one race in the British Touring Car Championship, doesn't it, to turn things on its head. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. That Plato's still got to finish this race and the last one, but at the moment, Shedden and the Honda team must be distraught.
On board with Plato, if the results were to be as the cars are now in this race, Jason 6th and Colin Turkington 12th. Colin Turkington would be the independent champion by just 1 point. That's the subplot to all of this, but you've got the main battle for the championship. But there's another plot, which is the race, and Matt Jackson, yes, he's on maximum weight, yes, Tom Ingram is on no weight, but the gap is coming down.
Very, very slightly it is coming down. Not by much, but enough.
So Ingram's up to second at the start of the lap. The gap was 9/10 of a second. It's less than that to the eye as they work their way through Westfield. But also bear in mind that Dave Newsham is closing on Morgan, and he's taking Jack Goff with him. And Jason Plato, in 6th spot, in the background, is closing up as well.
But Jason would have been told by his team he doesn't need to do anything more. Yes, he might want to take some extra points, but he does need to get involved in the scrap and risk a non-finish when he's now going to be in position A for the 3rd race.
Through Clark Curve he comes. There is Matt Jackson, the race leader. Can he hang on in there? Can Tom Ingram be a first-time race winner as they head over the timing line? Christian Dick, the boss of Speedworks, will be fighting his nails in the pit lane. David Bartram, perhaps from Motorbase, likewise, because he wants his car to score a win. Well, David's team has had a few wins over the seasons in the British Touring Car Championship. Speedworks has never had a win. Remember how Tom drove at Rockingham to lead and end up second to Plato, but now he is taking the battle to Matt Jackson.
He was 0.4 of a second quicker on the last lap, and if he gets the slightest chance, he'll go for it. Matt Neal, a dive up the inside. Whoa, how late was that? We know how good the Honda is on the brakes, but look, he doesn't even run wide. He can put it back tight. Fabulous move by Matt Neal on the brakes in the paddock.
So he's working his way up the order, and Gordon Shedden, as we've seen, is falling away with this problem. He's down in 20th spot now, Gordon Shedden. No points in this race, and having to think about starting 20th on the grid for race 3. And it could be even worse than that before the end, look, because Tony Gillam is right up with him as well now.
Well, maybe if we stay on this shot, we'll see how much his power deficit is, but clearly something. But look, this is Matt Neal on the back of Aaron Smith. I fancy he's going to find a way through, don't you?
Sooner or later, yes. He's tried it once in rather physical fashion at Stirling's, but Aaron Smith managed to hang on to the place. Is Matt going to try and dive up the inside? Into the corner they go. Volkswagen stays ahead of Honda, but Collard is right there with them as well. So Matt tries to attack, but also has to be conscious of defending. Here is the leading group again coming over the line. We head into the last race with 12 points only between Shedden and Plato now, if things stay as they are. We've got 2 more laps to go. Matt Jackson is still the race leader. Tom Ingram was 6/10 of a second back going on to this lap, and Adam Morgan right there for another podium.
Well, Jackson, the racer himself, he responded on that last lap by being a couple of tenths quicker. He likes to win, and well, he's driven a fantastic race with maximum ballast. This is Tony Gillam trying to pass Gordon Shedden. It's now for oh, has he got a brake problem? We thought we saw a brake problem there, but Gillam's looking up the inside. Can't see anything more there, but this is for a 20th place finish. So no use at all.
No, and Gordon Shedden, having said he wanted to get on with it and go racing, put his finger out, well, something mechanical seems to have hampered the charge, doesn't it? It's not down to Gordon's driving. Now, look, Plato, he's on the back of Goff, who's on the back of Newsham. 4th, 5th and 6th run together now, turning through Westfield. Can Jack Goff come back at Dave Newsham, who runs wide there up onto the grass? Dave, double race winner in the championship in years past. Jack Goff, solitary winner, Snetterton this year. And of course, Jason Plato, the most successful driver in terms of race wins in the history of the championship. They're about to come through to start the last lap of the race. Matt Jackson, has he done enough? It's been another great effort this by Tom Ingram, and another great effort by Adam Morgan. 3rd and the fastest lap of the race to his credit.
Yeah, that takes an extra point. It's an extra point that none of the others can get.
But we're not done yet for 4th, are we? Newsham, Goff, and Jason Plato is right there with them. If there are any scraps to be picked up, Jason will do the picking.
Well, we said at the start of this that the destiny wasn't in Jason Plato's hands himself. He needed some element of bad luck for Shedden, and Shedden has had it in this race. But don't forget, it could all be reversed in the next one.
Absolutely right. Do not miss the final round of the championship. But we've still got half a lap of this to go, and Ingram is on his toes, braking late, going into 30s. Turkington has got a puncture. Turkington on the last lap of the race comes to a halt. Aaron Smith had tyre dramas in qualifying yesterday. That's the Independence Trophy thrown back up into the air. Turkington was on target to win that by a point. Now he's stuck by the side of the road. It takes him out of the overall championship equation as well.
It won't affect the rest of this race because it's the last lap and the leaders are already past that situation. It will move Shedden up a place, but still not into the points.
Yes, the phrase whoopee-doo is not applicable at this time for Gordon, I'm afraid. As you say, not into the points. Here are the leaders. Ingram still trying something. The last thing he needs, though, is to make a move that doesn't work and so close to another podium to go off the road. So it looks as though he might have to chase Matt Jackson over the line. But it is going to be Motorbase, Speedworks and Whips Racing. Three different teams in the top three. Ford, Toyota, Mercedes, the three brands. Matt Jackson ahead of Tom Ingram, ahead of Adam Morgan, the three drivers. And Matt Jackson wins for the second time today. It's a double for Matt Jackson and Motorbase Performance. Matt Jackson wins, Tom Ingram second, Adam Morgan is third, Dave Newsham fourth, fifth Jack Goff, Jason Plato sixth. He is back in the game for the championship. Seventh is Matt Neal over the line. Then eighth over the timing line is Aaron Smith. Prio is ninth, Collard 10th, Jordan's 11th, Cole 12th, 13th is Sam Tordoff, and then with the demise of Colin Turkington on the last lap, 14th is going to be Jeff Smith. Alain Menu 15th, he's in the points, and Gordon Shedden comes across the line in 19th position. And the emotions in the car now will be very different from when you spoke to him a while ago.
Well, I wouldn't even dare speak to him now. It's not lost. It's not lost. The final race is always the most difficult one to get across, isn't it? And the most interesting with the grid revision. But Plato could end up on the front row.
It could indeed. And there'll be a wry smile inside the crash helmet. Now he knows of Gordon's travails in that race.
Do not miss the last race.
Absolutely.
30 races in, and we still don't know who's going to win this championship as it fluctuates. Great performance by Matt Jackson, Tom Ingram, and Adam Morgan. That's a brilliant, brilliant podium.
It is indeed. So Matt Jackson takes 2 out of 2 from Wicks Racing. A moment ago, you heard Norman Burgess saying perfect. So they're very happy as a team with the efforts of Adam Morgan. The Sicily Racing run Wicks Racing sponsored Mercedes, and Tom Ingram for Speedworks Motorsport in the background for second position, a second of the year. And that's another great boost for Speedworks Motorsport, isn't it, going into the winter? It's going to be good to try and attract customers for the team. We know that Wicks Racing is going to stay with Adam Morgan and Aidan Moffat for next year, just those two cars operated from that team. Round 29, won by Matt Jackson, ahead of Tom Ingram and Adam Morgan. Dave Newsham 4th, Jack Goff 5th, and Jason Plato 6th. Matt Neal, Aaron Smith, Andy Prio and Rob Collard round out the top 10. 11th, Andrew Jordan, ahead of James Cole and Sam Tordoff. Then it is Jeff Smith and Alain Menu to round out the point scorers. Then Josh Cook, Mike Bushell, Jake Hill, Gordon Shedden only 19th, and Tony Gillam completes the top 20. Hunter Abbott 21st ahead of Stuart Lyons and Simon Belcher. Turkington stops on the last lap with a puncture. Aidan Moffat starts on the pits with problems. Martin with damage, others in strife as well. For the points in the championship though now, it is Gordon Shedden 12 ahead of Jason Plato. Colin Turkington falling back with his non-finish. He's third, equal now with Matt Neal, 306 points apiece. Andrew Jordan's back ahead of Sam Tordoff. Then it's Adam Morgan 7th, Prio 8th, Goff 9th, Collard 10th. And this was how Tom Ingram managed to make the move to get up into second place.
Yeah, on the run up to Sheen Curve, he got up the inside coming out of Westfield and did it very cleanly.
So interesting that it's a tyre issue that stops Colin Turkington, but no dramas for Matt Jackson. Nothing has stopped him as the Tokyo technical team does the post-race checks. And 2 out of 2. And an important win in a sense for Motorbase Performance, because they had no idea how soft tyres and maximum ballast were going to add up. Well, there's the answer. It wasn't a massive margin. It was 0.350 of a second, but a win's a win.
Yeah, and it's not easy to win with maximum ballast. It's a brilliant effort, and I mean, it's credit to all the team. They've got that car so well sorted. And obviously the temperature being up has really helped the soft tyres stay in good condition. So far, it's not been a problem in the first or the second race. We saw Plato competitive in the first race, and now Jackson has won with maximum ballast, which also takes its toll on the tyre. No problem at all in race 2.
And so we've had Matt Jackson, Gordon Shedden, Jason Plato over the win 2 from 2 with the maximum ballast, which we thought was going to be very difficult, but it has been possible, and a great reception for Matt from Motorbase Performance. He's had a couple of really difficult years as the team has developed its own built Ford Focus.
That's Dave Mountune from Mountune Engines, the people that have provided the superb Ford EcoBoost engine that everyone else is thinking, goodness me, I'm glad that wasn't around. I would like one. Yeah, exactly. So he's the engine genius.
And actually, Dave Mountain, no mean racer himself at club level, but yes, all smiles. So too is David Bartram, the team principal in the background there. It's not often you can say David Bartram in the background, I tell you, but for the moment he was there behind David Mountain. And so Matt Jackson it is, who is the race winner for the second time today at Brands Hatch. He can tell us all about it. He's with Louise.
Yeah, another incredible twist in the championship, but some incredible racing from some potential champions of the future, and Matt, a 4th victory of the season. I mean, that means that Jason Plato is the only driver who's scored more than you now, and you've done it in half the season.
It's great. You know, this Motorbase Ford is just round here, the high-speed section out the back. It's just phenomenal. You know, through the corners, it hangs on in there. And yeah, it's testament to all these boys that have worked so hard with Mountune, Motorbase. The cars are on fire.
Well, it's definitely on fire because you've got that victory with maximum ballast on board, with the soft tyres on the car as well. I mean, how difficult was it to maintain that lead, to control that lead?
Yeah, obviously I could see behind that Adam and Tom were starting to trip over each other. And the safety car really helped us. You know, I'm not sure we could have held on, with the soft if it wasn't for the safety car. But as soon as they tripped over, it gave us that break that we could just about stay clear.
How much breathing space did you have at the end? Because this lad here was coming up on you hard and fast, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He was coming quick. I could see him get past Adam. I thought, here we go, because he's obviously on the prime tyre, and we were dropping off quite quick. But we managed to hold on, so it was a good result.
It's been a little while since we've seen 3 races won in one day. What are the chances?
We'll give it a go.
I'm sure you will.
See.
I'm sure you will. Tom, congratulations. I mean, another 2nd place. Not quite the tears of this time, but I'm sure still the excitement.
Yeah, not quite the tears, but again, absolutely awesome. So good. They're like London buses, aren't they? We're it from all year, and they seem to come within quick succession. Yeah, that was awesome. That's so much fun. And again, I knew we had the advantage at the start. You know, we were on the medium tyre, with the guys around us were on the softer tyre. And I knew as long as we get a reasonable start, that I'd be fairly in the mix. But it took me a little while to get past Adam, and once I did, it was just I thought, well, let's see if I can catch Matt, and just set it as a challenge, but not quite. Nearly, but not quite.
Could you have done it with a few more laps?
What if, eh? Possibly, I don't know. I think Matt seemed to have a little bit more pace on us, and certainly out the back and down the straights. We seem to be having him on the brakes and places like that, but couldn't quite get him so throughout the back. But I think if I'd have gone on to the back of him, as his tyres would have continued to go off, I think ours would have come stronger. But the Speedworks boys have done a hugely good job once again, and huge thank you to RHA, Hansford Sensors, Nourishment, Hughes, and everybody else watching back at home.
Well done you. The wins will come, I have absolutely no doubt. And Adam Morgan, hello again. Back on the podium, finishing position.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. The Wicks Mercedes has always kind of suffered a little bit with soft tyres and with some weight on, and I don't know what those guys did, but they gave me an unbelievable car, and managed to bring it back into place. So yeah, chuffed to bits.
Enjoyable battles?
Yeah, it's nice. Me and Tom have been racing together for quite a few years now, and it's nice always to get one over on him. But this time he was quicker than me, and fair play. But like I said, Wicks, everyone, all our sponsors have been amazing, and just what a brilliant day.
Great stuff. Well done you. Well, we are going to head off for a quick break now, but when we come back, it is what could be the most crucial reverse grid draw of this entire season, so you don't want to miss it.
Tim Harvey, the emotions inside that Honda right now must be what?
Well, huge emotion, but the focus is now on doing what he does best. Once the cars start moving, he knows what he's got to do, and he's got to drive the race of his life. It may or may not come down to what he does or what others do. And of course, he's going to have to pass other. It's not just Matt Neal and Jason Plato. There's Alan Menu in front. There's Aaron Smith in front as well. They could help Plato. But he's going to have to really be on the top of his game here and hope nothing else goes wrong. Not a single person has left Brands Hatch. No. I can tell you, the crowd are 10 deep throughout the circuit. Not a single person has left, and this really is a sporting showdown.
And you've got Jason Plato with 3 teammates to help, Gordon Shedden with 1 teammate to help.
Yeah, except that Turkington is at the back, if you remember, after his puncture in race 2, so he's unlikely to be a factor in helping in Plato.
The grid for the final round of the championship. Matt Neal is on pole position, his nemesis. Jason Plato with him at the front of the grid. The second row, Jack Goff and Dave Newsham, both keen to go out on a high. What can they do? Ahead of Adam Morgan and Tom Ingram on the third row of the grid. Row 4 is where you find Matt Jackson and Aaron Smith. The 5th row, that's got Andy Prio and Rob Collard's BMWs on it, ahead of Andrew Jordan and James Cole. Then Sam Tordoff lining up alongside Jeff Smith. 15th on the grid is Alain Menu, then Josh Cook, Mike Bushell and Jake Hill come next. 19th is Gordon Shedden. 20th, Tony Gillum, they're ahead of Hunter Abbott and Stuart Lyons. Then Simon Belcher and Aidan Moffat, he's 24th, ahead of Colin Turkington with a lot of work to do, and Alex Martin. The penultimate row is Dan Welch and Martin Depper. The back row is Rob Austin and Derek Palmer. We've talked a lot about the championship situation. Just also add to this soft tyres for a few, success weight that's all shuffled around as well. What else can we throw into the mix? Drivers that are determined, like Jack Goff, who always goes well on the Grand Prix circuit to end the season on a high and don't have anything to say about the championship. Matt Jackson, 75 kilos. Tom Ingram, 66. The car's never carried that much. Adam Morgan, 57. Dave Newsham's got 48. Goff has 39. Jason Plato, 33 kilos. Matt Neal, 27. Smith's got 21. Prio, 15. Collard, 9. But of course, Shedden's got no weight.
Yeah, but the interesting thing, obviously, between Plato and Matt Neal, there's not much difference in weight, so treat it as a straight race.
Indeed so. They've got to get around the first corner safely here, haven't they? And this is how we look for the top 3 in the championship. 12 between Shedden and Plato. Remember, it's 20 for a win. You get a point for leading across the timing line, so if you win, you're going to get that as well. And you also get a point for the fastest lap of the race. So keep an eye on the race situation. Keep an eye on Jason Plato and another eye on Gordon Shedden. And if you've got spare eyes, then look at the way the points are going to work out as well. Calculators at the ready, scraps of paper and pen at the ready. There's a great race in prospect and a great showdown.
Yeah, they're concentrating on the start for the moment, and Plato will want to try and get ahead of Matt Neal, but if Matt Neal makes a good start from the inside, I don't see him being brave enough to go around the outside.
No, that's true. And then what about those behind? Jack Goff, well, he just wants to gain places. He wants to win. Dave Newsham, he's going to be spectacular, isn't he? So a lot of the first couple of corners could be out of Jason Plato's hands, a bit like the first lap of the previous race was out of Gordon Shedden's hands. It was a tap from behind that did for him with those binding brakes. So remember 2 years ago, middle race, Andrew Jordan got a whack. It was Aaron Smith that tagged him at Surtees, and that put Andrew Jordan out of the race, and we thought the championship was slipping away. He fought back. There in the red jacket is Gillian Shedden, Gordon's wife. No mean racing driver herself, in fairness, and she's had to live with all of the stress for the last fortnight. What a day she must have had as well. The grid is starting to take shape then for the final round of the 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. What a season it has been. What a day it has been. What a race this promises to be. Right, it is 15 laps. Don't leave your chair. Don't breathe. This promises to be one spectacular race. It could be the race of the season. It is the championship showdown. It is about to get underway. Lights go red, engine notes rise. The last round of the championship. Any second now is go. Who makes the best start? Matt Neal. Jason Plato slots in behind him. Defends from Jack Goff on the run towards paddock. Now, are they all going to get through safely? Matt Neal has done what he needs to do and stay ahead of Plato, but he makes a mistake and goes wide, and Jason gets up the inside. Jack Goff tries to get through as well, and Matt Neal has made a mistake, and Jason Plato takes over the race lead, and there's contact. Tom Ingram gets fired around and into the gravel.
Oh, and another car sliding out. Looks like it's going to further contact with Aaron Smith at the back. Jake Hill's off as well.
That'll be a safety car, won't it? With those in the gravel up and through, is there a 3 off?
Matt Neal's back in front of Jack Goff, though. He's recovered that situation. That was a cold left tyre on the back of the Honda at Paddock. Remember, it's the later part of the day and the temperatures have dropped.
Safety car, as predicted, safety car deployed. Tom Ingram had spun and then got hit. You saw the damage by 2 more cars that went off. Tom Ingram's got himself out of the gravel, incidentally, but Jake Hill's car and a 3rd off the road as well. Gordon Shedden has been making a little bit of progress, but now that the safety car boards and flags will be out, he's on the back of a BMR Volkswagen, and Alain Menu's car could be one of the widest Volkswagen CCs Gordon's ever come across.
Well, this is the first test of sort of team tactics, isn't it? Will Menu be a hindrance to Shedden? The marshals are just checking that Jake Hill's all right. That's the Ingram car. I mean, it actually wasn't damaged really when it went into the gravel, but it was the errant. Oh, he's hurt his arm, but he's out of the car and looks to be okay. Not the greatest. Not the greatest race for Jake, and come back to the BTCC.
No, and you can see the damage where the car slid into Tom Ingram. So it was Jackson up the inside of Newsham into the side of Ingram by the look of it, and then Jake Hill's out of control and into a parked car.
Yeah. It was bunching at the front that caused the off for Ingram, 3 cars into 1. It looked like Jake just lost the rear himself, a bit like Matt Neal did going through Paddock. It was just unfortunate that Ingram's car was in front. This is on board with Shedden. He's already up behind Menu. And the little, quite a lot of contact, 2 contact there, big ones. Well, that's going to rev Menu up, not to help, isn't it?
Exactly so. So, safety car is on track. We'll be back for the restart after the break. Championship showdown in the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship at Brands Hatch. Incidents on lap 1, turn 2. Safety car on track. Jason Plato leads. Gordon Shedden 16th, not yet in the points.
Not yet, but he's already suffering with Matt Neal getting a great start, but then not being able to hold it round lap 1. Here's the start, and Matt Neal, you'll see, gets a big oversteer coming through Paddock, has to correct it, runs wide, and just opens the door for Jason Plato. I bet Jason couldn't believe his luck when he saw that. And that could be a crucial move in the race as mum and wife Sophie looks on. Because if Jason can, this is on board now, watch the back end go there, he corrects but it runs wide, and up the inside comes Plato. Now if on the restart Plato can bolt and he's got the speed to pull away from Matt Neal, it really hands the advantage to him. If he doesn't have the speed and Matt Neal can attack him, then it's going to be difficult. But the first couple of laps after the restart are going to be crucial.
So the cars now all bunch up. The safety car due in this time, we understand. So the field heading through slowly.
Plato's gone.
Jason accelerates away. Let's see what the gap is going to be. Can Matt Neal go with him? Can he stay with him? The race will be back on this time when they go over the timing line, but a good restart from Plato.
Yeah, he got the jump there on Matt for sure.
Andrew Jordan turning through. But here Jason Plato has gone, hasn't he? He's checked out as they come up towards the timing line. So through goes Plato. He leads by 7/10 from Matt Neal, and now Matt is under attack. That's the last thing he needs. He wants to be going after Plato for the lead, not defending from Jack Goff, and Plato's going to build the lead here.
Well, we know how difficult Plato is to unseat from a lead. When he gets out front, he seldom gets beaten, as Stuart Lines has gone off at, I think that's Paddock.
That's Clark Curve. It's coming up to the timing line before he got to a green flag. So that could be another safety car to get him out of the gravel. Jack Goff is looking for a way past Matt Neal. They go up towards Surtees. Behind them in 4th place, look, is Matt Jackson as they turn their way through the left-hander. But Plato is getting away because Neal is having to defend. Now, if Plato wins, as there, Shedden tries to get around the outside, and maybe he can't do it. Shedden's got to be 6th. The safety car is being deployed for a second time. But if Plato wins, Shedden needs to get 6th or better. And he's on the outside of Menu, and there is a yellow flag, and there is a safety car board just to the left.
And they've seen it, I think. Well, Menu's seen it. Has Shedden backed off? I think so, but he can't overtake once you've gone past the ball. Well, Matt Neal was caught napping there. He must be sharper on the restart next time round. Absolutely must be. But I'm sure that Jason will shake it up and do something different when he does the restart. That time he went as they were approaching Sterling's and just got the jump.
So there's the safety car. ready to collect them. They have to go past the incident zone to get to the safety car, in fairness, but the yellow flags are there. The instructions will be there to slow down. And Stuart Lyne's car, because of where it is, can actually just be pulled straight across the road into the pit lane. Shouldn't be more than a lap, hopefully, before we're back underway. Gordon Shedden is still 16th then. We'd not even had really half a racing lap before the safety car boards came back out again. There he is. So it is Jason Plato, the race leader, Matt Neal, Jack Goff, Matt Jackson, Adam Morgan, Dave Newsham, the top 6, Collard, Prio, Aaron Smith, Andrew Jordan, the top 10. Nervous Julian Shedden looking on.
Doubtless seeing that graphic, that's the one that she doesn't want to see, that husband Gordon is going to lose the championship by 10 points at the moment. And clearly Menu is going to be very stubborn, isn't he?
Yeah.
The 2 taps that he got on the first lap nearly turned him round, but that's going to make him very stubborn, and he's not going to give anything to Shedden to let him pass.
So Gordon has won the championship once before. Jason has won it twice before. And they work their way behind the safety car.
I've got a feeling Menu might have a puncture on the right rear. Just got a feeling he might have a puncture on the right rear.
Okay, let's have a look. Field heading down towards us. Yes, you're right. Yes, he has.
Right.
Good spot.
Menu's got a puncture on the right rear, possibly as a result of the touch, well, almost certainly as a result of the touch with Shedden on lap 1, but he's going to be off. He'll have to pull off. Hopefully he'll pull into the pit lane. The safety car isn't going to be in this lap, so he can't. I mean, he could carry on and be a mobile chicane, but that wouldn't be at all sporting, obviously. But he'll be angry because the damage has been inflicted by Shedden.
But under the safety car, they could get him out on the lead lap. He could, of course, be lapped by Jason and then get in the way of the others a bit later.
But he won't be in front of Shedden, crucially. That's the thing.
He won't be able to stay ahead of him on the race classification, no, but he could get in the way and upset things were he to be lapped. That would get Gordon into the point, but even that 1 point isn't enough for Gordon. So all these permutations still to think about for the remaining laps. How is the recovery doing? Still not got the car out of the gravel. They're just getting past there. Look, you can see the Houseman Racing Toyota. Stuart Lynes has had a really difficult weekend. He's been off the road a lot. And there is Alain Menu, who's also had a difficult weekend, heading down the pit lane with a punctured right rear tyre.
Yeah, as you say, he won't lose a lap. He'll be on the back of the Crocodile, albeit with a very cold right rear tyre on the car, which will make it very nervous through the left-handers at least. But he won't lose a lap, but it does at least help Shedden get up the road.
So in the car comes, up on the jacks, wheel off. Dunlop engineers will have a look at it. Mickey Butler from Dunlop looks at the carcass of the tyre, make sure there's no damage, looks okay. New tyre goes on, and Stuart Lynes' car is out of the gravel bed, so the road is clear. We should be able to go back to racing this time around. There's Mickey Sargent and Ian Harrison at 888 on the radios. We'll be talking to Jack Goff. He's the man in third about what he can do about Matt Neal.
Well, Matt Neal's got to do a better restart this time, and he closes up on Jason Plato. He needs to be absolutely glued to his back bumper, ready to anticipate the launch, which will be sometime after Sheen if he goes early, or between Sheen and Clearways if he goes late.
So the lights are out, so Jason Plato now will know, but it's up to him to control the restart and try to outfox Matt Neal, who closes through Westfield. But this could be quite a leisurely crawl up to the next couple of corners. Where will Jason decide to accelerate? Where would you do it?
You'd have to shake it up, but it's good to go before a corner when the other guy might be braking, but that's exactly what he did last time. Be great to stay on board and see when he goes. He's pretending... Now he's gone.
Matt Neal goes with it, and he's going to get up the inside here as they head towards the line. Matt Neal's in danger of losing a place, not gaining it, because now he's been hung out to dry on the outside line. So Jack Goff up the inside of Matt Jackson. Look, he's trying to go through as well with maximum weight on board. Goff goes through, and here comes Matt Jackson up the inside. He's going to go through as well. Matt Neal from pole is going down to 4th place on the run up towards Druids. It could be 5th. Adam Morgan tries to buy into it now.
Well, the Honda's just not working well on the cold tyres at the moment. Matt's not sure enough about the rear. He couldn't lean on it coming through Clearways and Clark Curve enough to have the exit speed.
So through they come, and now Adam Morgan looks for a way up the inside, and off the road has gone Dave Newsham, I should say, rather.
Same place.
Dave Newsham, same place. It'll be the same result. It'll be another safety car.
And this is all down to cold rear tyres. The temperature has dropped massively, the ambient and the track temperature, and slow laps behind the safety car just mean the pressures and the temperature reduce even further at the rear.
Third safety car. And before you think this is because somebody doesn't want Jason Plato to be champion, it's nothing like that. You can't leave a car in a dangerous place. So Dave Newsham's car is on the edge of the road at Clark Curve. There's no option but to get the safety car out and get it out of the way, is there?
We all know about hazards on the racetrack this year more than anything else. And when you've had two cars go off in the same place on the same race and other cars go off, watch behind. Look, Matt Neal, he's frightened to lean on that left rear, and Goff has just got a bit more confidence and comes through much quicker. And Matt is right to be nervous. This was on board Shedden. He's got James Cole in front of him, a car we know is very quick on the straight. Well, Cole just moves out the way. Now, did he pass before the safety car board? Is that why Cole was slow?
They were getting the board ready, weren't they? And at the end of the lap, when they came over the timing line, Shedden was still ahead in 12th position, but I would say that board was being prepared rather than actually there. He was ahead by the next one, but we'll see. Maybe we can have another look at that. Just double check. He was being prepared, I thought, on the left-hand side. But it was certainly tight. Jack Goff has done the fastest lap of the race, incidentally, before that most recent safety car period to get himself up onto the back of Jason Plato. So Gordon Shedden now is 12th, but it's still not enough with Jason Plato leading the race. He's getting himself up the order. Of course, trouble for Gordon is here. He's running out of racing laps.
Now watch the marshal's post. Is there a safety car board? Can you see it? Not there.
Green flag.
Was there one there? I couldn't see it. There. He's already passed.
Yeah.
I think he's done that securely, but it could have been crucial because had he passed under the safety car board, there would have been a penalty after the race.
Absolutely right.
So
yes, done in
we're
time.
fairly confident that pass was okay, and it was James Cole letting him through.
More heated discussions at Honda Yuasa Racing. Barry Plowman there on the pit wall with the headset on and his hand against the earpiece, just talking to one or both of the drivers. Nicky Sargent, Ian Harrison in the middle, Dave Benbow, all at 888. Their focus at the moment is Jack Goff in second place. And a rare smile from H there. He found himself on the camera. It's not been a great year for 888 in fairness. So Dave Newsham's car joins Stuart Lyne's in the car park at Clark Curve. And here is one we prepared earlier. The safety car should be back in this time, and Jason Plato will control the restart.
Yes, when will he go now, David?
Well, before a corner often helps, you know.
He's running out of options. See if Jack Goff...
It is an 18-lap race because of the safety car, but it will be no more than 18. It's pegged at that. So now Shedden desperately wants all these remaining laps to be green to give him a chance of working his way up the order. Here he comes. He's looking to make progress. Jeff Smith goes backwards. So Gordon Shedden gains a place. He's 11th into paddock.
Still not enough, but in the points.
He's going the right way about it, though, and look at this traffic ahead. Trouble is, he's got to work his way through that. Jason's clear of it. He's getting away from Jack Goff as they work their way through Graham Hill Bend. What Shedden needs is for a few to trip over themselves up the road, and he can buy some places without really having to get involved in the fight. Matt Neal, though, repelling Adam Morgan. Now, he might be able to at least help a little bit here by stacking up this group to let Gordon catch and perhaps work a way by, but
yeah, the problem is Gordon needs to get up to 7th, about 7th, isn't it? So,
6th to be sure, yeah.
So it's got a long way to go yet.
So at the moment he's 11th, lots of places to gain, and only half the race in which to do it now. Here they come. Plato, Goff, Jackson, Matt Neal is 4th, Adam Morgan is in 5th place, and then 6th is Rob Collard. Now what can Jack Goff do? Because if he were to be able to catch and pass Plato, that changes the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm sure Dynamics will be saying to Matt Neal, as you suggested, just slow this group up. We need them to fall over each other. Shedden is on an absolute mission. Look at him go. He could do this, you know.
Absolutely. He heard pre-race from James Rogers, the team manager. If anybody can do it, Flash is the man. Well, there he is. Look, he's got himself up another place because Sam Tordoff has fallen behind him. And so at the end of the lap, Gordon Shedden, with no weight on the car, works his way over the timing line now. Andrew Jordan is the next target. Shedden is into the top 10. He's not enough, but he's not far away from doing enough.
No, the point is the cars he needs to pass are only just in front of him, and he's got a quick car and plenty of laps left.
And Jack Goff has done the fastest lap of the race, so that point goes neither Plato nor Shedden's way. Breathe, Gillian, breathe. On board with Shedden. Jordan ahead. Jordan sideways over the curb. Is Shedden going to be able to make a move along Cooper Straight now? 2012 champion chases 2013 champion. And Andrew Jordan in the MG is the next target for Gordon Shedden. And there's a BMW running wide, Rob Collard further up the road. So the battles are kicking off ahead of Shedden. Further up, you can see it now as the cars are on different lines on the track.
Look at the speed of that Honda. The engine's in full qualifying mode. You can see the smoke coming out of it. They're throwing everything they can at this race.
So he's up to 9th spot now. He's not there yet as Aaron Smith gets past Andy Prio. Here comes Shedden. Now, if he gets past the BMW, which he's about to, then he's got to find a way past Aaron Smith in the Volkswagen. He has got past the BMW, but life's about to become rather tougher.
Now things get really interesting. He's behind another BMR car, and Aaron Smith has not been very helpful to Plato so far this weekend. Is he about to help his team massively and his teammate massively by being the roadblock in front of Shedden?
Jack Goff is under investigation for an overlap on the restart. Jack Goff under investigation for his. Aaron Smith is ahead of him. And Jason Plato, the leader, I reckon he's being caught again by Jack Goff. The gap is half.
Yet that Matt Neal is still in front and still can either give up a place on the last lap or back the others up first. So there's still plenty of advantage. Both teams, if you like, have got players in the mix.
So there, you've got Collard ahead of Aaron Smith, ahead of Gordon Shedden. Shedden to get past the Volkswagen is the next fascination in all of this. Can he do it? How will he do it? Where will he do it? Look, he's closing all the time. But Gordon Shedden will be mindful that this is a car run by the same team that operates Jason Plato's car. This is likely to be the hardest pass of the day.
Yeah, Plato, though, has fastest lap on the last lap, so he has the extra point.
He does indeed, so that means that Gordon's going to have to work even harder now.
Look at the brakes. Brakes on the front of Gordon Shedden's car, absolutely red hot. Look at the brakes, the discs, absolutely red hot.
And he's going to have a go at Smith now. Look, as he gets himself quick out of Sterling's, he's going to be on the outside down through Clearways into Clark Curve. Can he do it on the outside line? No. Can he duck up the inside coming through the corner? Yes, he can. Here comes Shedden. He's up alongside Smith and he's going to make the move. And here comes Prio as well. It's another place gained by Shedden.
Well, we talked at the top of the programme about Shedden's unbelievable overtaking, and he just proved it yet again there. But I'm seriously concerned about those brakes. They should not be that hot at this stage of the race.
But Plato's fastest lap means that now he would take the championship by a point, Jason Plato. So Shedden has got to keep on gaining places. He's not done yet. Matt Neal could still be a sacrificial lamb. And here Matt Jackson tries to get himself up and past Jack Goff.
But this is okay because Matt Neal can give up place.
That's right,
he can give up a place, and that would be enough.
That's why I say
he hasn't actually got to. He needs to look after those brakes. The team should be saying, look after the brakes, and Matt will drop back at the end.
Jackson round the outside of Goff. If anything happens here, it could be two places gained because they're absolutely together, and Matt Neal is behind them. Look at this, great racing. Goff and Jackson, they've been side by side all the way to the corner, and Goff goes back ahead of Matt Neal, gets himself up another place here.
Yeah, and Shedden's going to get through because Jackson's been pushed out wide.
So Neal gets ahead of Jackson. Morgan buys into this as well.
Sorry, Neal gets ahead of Jackson, sorry.
Jackson with very hot brakes as well there. He's got Morgan on his tail. Now Shedden is on the back of Collard. This is for 6th, and it is a crucial pass.
Yeah, let's see if he can tee him up again. We know the Honda's a little bit quicker coming off this corner and down the straight. And he's got a good run here, but Collard will make him go the long way round. And Collard's probably one of the hardest men to pass on the track. They're side by side, approaching paddock. And Shedden has outbraked him round the outside with a lock-up on the inside. He's done it. Gillian can't contain herself. Collard is coming back, but Prio's attacking Collard.
So Gordon Shedden then gets himself now up into 6th place. with the fastest lap point to Plato. That would put them equal on points, and Jason would be champion on a tie-break with more wins. So Gordon has got to gain more places, and look at the real estate between him and Adam Morgan up the road. So now, not only is he got to try and scarper up the road and catch them, Matt Neal could be absolutely crucial, because if Matt gives up his position, that would give the championship to Shedden.
That's what he'll do. I'm absolutely sure of it. Absolutely sure of it. But Shedden's going to have to keep pushing. Look at that concentration on his face. He's driven a brilliant race so far, but he still needs a bit more help, because the gap that he's got to bridge to the next car up is going to be too much to bridge quickly.
So he comes through Westfield. Gordon Shedden was effectively 2.5 seconds back from Adam Morgan. He has passed, of course, Collard on this lap, and he's absolutely flying, as you expect. No weight on the car. He's hunting down Adam Morgan as they work their way through Stirling's. 57 kilos on Morgan's car. So Plato doing everything he can. He's leading the race. He's got the fastest lap. Neal hustling Jack Goff as they work their way now through Clark Curve, and Matt Neal trying to get second position as they work their way over the line.
Yeah, Matt's still fighting his own race at the moment.
Oh! Inside of Goff, the whole lot alongside, he's up the curb, they lean on each other. Goff gets forced wide, Jackson's up the inside of both of them, they're going to be 3 wide going up towards Druids. Morgan tries to get in on the act as well. Jackson's through, here comes Morgan. He's up past Matt Neal and they lean on each other. Jack Goff has been dumped down to 5th. So Jackson, the great opportunist, but Matt Neal fights back. He's on the inside of Morgan, he gives him a knock. Morgan's all over the curb, but he's on the dirt, and Goff tries to fight back. There's not room, but he tries to get up on the grass, and Shedden now is almost with them. Matt Neal is blocking. Goff and Morgan side by side. MG ahead of Mercedes. Wow.
Well, that was half a lap of real excitement. Matt Neal was trying, in fairness, to race himself, wasn't he? Did that dive up the inside of paddock. How they all stayed on the track, I don't know, but it has allowed Shedden to bridge the gap.
Absolutely. He's closing all the time as they work their way now through Hawthorns. Unbelievable. They can hardly look at the screens in the Honda USA Racing garage as Gordon Shedden needs to gain 1 more place, and provisionally we reckon that would give him the championship.
Sophie there, wife of Matt Neal, Gillian, wife of Jason Plato, and Gillian, wife of Shedden. Just how they can watch this, I don't know. This is motor racing at its absolute peak.
Here they come to the timing line again, and so this is up as we are at the moment. They would be tied on points, and as I say, there'll be the tie break now. Shedden's up the inside as they dive into paddock. Is he going to gain a place? Yes, he's done it, he's gone through. Gordon Shedden is ahead of Adam Morgan, and that would give him the championship by 1 point. And look at the change in the emotion in the garage. But we're not done yet, it's lap 15 of 18. Gordon's got to bring it home. He might gain more places before the end. Matt Neal may yet bail out of the way to absolutely cement the championship, but what a drive this has been from Gordon Shedden. But let's not speak too soon. We know anything can happen in the championship, and it's not done yet, Tim.
He's not relying now on his teammate Matt Neal. Matt Neal has got to do anything to help Gordon. Gordon's done this on his own. He's driven from the back to the front to win this championship like a man possessed.
A flash of the lights at Jack Goff to say, I'm coming. For a man who on the grid, when we had a quick word with him, was certainly very tense and nervous and very focused. What a drive this has been. Jason Plato still leading the way. He's 4 seconds up the road, but the championship in a way is being taken out of Jason's hands. He can do no more. He's leading. He's got that fastest lap point. But with every car that Shedden overtakes, things are changing in the way the championship can pan out. Down to Stirling's they come. Jack Goff is the next target for this man, Gordon Shedden.
Now, still worried about those brakes, though. Still worried about those brakes. The team must have seen that on the TV. They probably could afford to tell him to back off. He doesn't need to attack Goff now, but I'd be trying to bring that car home now.
Over the timing line, Plato to Jackson is 4 seconds. Neal runs 3rd, 4th is Goff, 5th is Gordon Shedden. Into paddock he goes, lap 16, the anti-penultimate lap of the race and of the season. And Shedden has not given up in his quest to find a way past Goff behind. We saw Collard running out wide, so Prio has got past him. And Jack Goff has been roughed up once in this race to an extent. How easy is he going to be for Gordon Shedden to find a way by the Honda right there on the tail? Remember, Shedden is running 5th on the road, and he's come up from 19th on the grid.
And the other thing is, Goff has got 39 kilos and the soft tyre on. Maybe that soft tyre not working quite as well here at the end of the race. And a great run out onto the back straight for Shedden, but he's going to have to go around the outside. That would be a foolish risk, but we've seen him outbrake people. He's not going to outbrake Goff. He's going to try and cut back to the inside, but Goff's going to defend. Doesn't need this place.
Through they come. What he doesn't want, though, is to get stuck behind Goff and then get monstered by Morgan, who's not that far adrift. Look in the background. What a race. But we're not done yet. Let's not speak too soon. As things stand, Shedden would have done enough, just, but only just. And Goff is still ahead of him. Shedden takes a bite of curb on the inside. We know the Honda is quick. This is the run down towards Clearways, the end of lap 16 of 18. You're looking at the back of Jack Goff's MG on board with Gordon Shedden. Can he line up to make a move going into paddock as through they come to start the penultimate lap? Jason Plato is leading. Matt Jackson, the gap is coming down. Third is Matt Neal, and then for fourth it is Jack Goff versus Gordon Shedden, who turns into paddock, not making a move there. Can he make a move on the inside up of Druids? Does he feel he needs to?
Well, he doesn't need to, but he's making Goff drive defensive lines, which, as you say, could let Adam Morgan catch up as they stand at the moment. Shedden will be champion by 1 point.
But we've got a lap and a half to go, so we could still have a change. You just never know, especially with the concern over the brakes of Gordon Shedden that have been glowing red hot for a good chunk of the race. Jason Plato leads the way. Don't forget about him. He's up the road by 3.7 seconds. Matt Jackson is closing, so Plato doing everything he can. I'll make the point again. He came into the weekend as the underdog. Coming into this race, Shedden was the underdog. Now look, Goff closing on Matt Neal a little bit now. Is there going to be a little bit of extra help to stretch the points margin at Honda UASA Racing? Tim rightly says they don't need to do that now, but let's just see, because Matt Neal is certainly being caught by Goff, who is bringing Shedden with him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the tactic is from Matt Neal's point of view. Doesn't need to back Goff up and cause a concertina accident. He either gets out the way completely just to make it doubly secure, or he's doesn't need to slow down. I don't know why he's slowing down. He's driving tight lines. He's deliberately slowing Goff down. Doesn't need to do this. Is he going to let both of them through? He must do. Yes.
Through goes Goff, through goes Shedden, on to the last lap of the championship. So Gordon Shedden gains another place. Matt Neal does the right thing for the team. And now Shedden is going to have a go at Jack Goff. Having overtaken so many cars, Gordon has got a real taste for it. He's up the inside of Jack Goff. This, remember, is for third place, and through goes Shedden. What a drive, but Jack Goff hasn't finished yet. Shedden's got to give him racing room. The last thing he needs now is contact on the last lap of the race. He gets run out wide onto the curb.
What are they doing? What is Shedden doing racing this hard? Maybe he's got no choice. He's let Goff go this time. He's got Neal behind him to safely bring him home round the rest of this lap, hopefully.
There was a sideways Prio going on to the Grand Prix section as well, but Gordon Shedden is still attacking. Here he comes round the outside of Jack Goff. The outside line for Hawthorns. It's not going to work there, but he's not settling for anything, is he? He's attacking all the way. Jack Goff defending his podium finish for all he is worth. This is Shedden's view. He's on the outside of Westfield. Goff's over the curb on the inside.
Less than half a lap from the end, and the pack is all over the back of him. What do you do? How do you protect? Neal's got Morgan behind him. He's going to do it, I think. He's only got a couple more corners to go. Stay in line, and Gordon Shedden is going to become the 2015 British Touring Car Champion.
But there is a race winner, first of all, and Jason Plato is about to score a 94th career win, but he's going to be the championship runner-up provisionally, because through for second place is going to be Matt Jackson on the road. Jack Goff takes third, and the 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Champion is Gordon Shedden after the drive of his life to finish in fourth place. What a fantastic performance.
An unbelievable race, worthy of the British Touring Car Championship's best. Absolute drama down to the last two corners of the last race, the 30th race of the year. Unbelievable drive from Gordon Shedden. Congratulations to the whole Dynamics team. You've got to ask yourself how different it might have been if Menu hadn't had that puncture.
And spare a thought for Jason Plato. He did everything he possibly could in that race. He could do no more.
Absolutely everything. He did the maximum. He won the race. He got the fastest lap. But our congratulations go to Gordon Shedden.
Fantastic achievement, fantastic drive, jubilation, relief, you name it, in the Honda Yuasa Racing Garage. And now the enormity of that drive sinks in. Has there been a better touring car drive? Gordon Shedden, British touring car champion for the second time. Gordon, drive of your life.
Really, I can't believe it. Definitely sure.
Yes, Tim here, we're absolutely certain that you are the champion once again with a champion's drive. Fantastic.
I can't believe it. Start there and get through. What a day. Just touring car racing, the ups and downs, isn't it? Awesome, brilliant, what amazing little Civic Type R.
What was that last lap like? Tell me.
I just didn't know whether, I had good pace to try and pass Goff, but I just didn't want to take any risks. And oh man, I can't believe it. Absolutely cannot believe it.
Gordon, fantastic job, well done.
Thank you.
And there, what a drive that has been. Fantastic job done by Gordon Shedden.
Yeah, and here's your final standings for the 30th race.
Jason Plato wins the race ahead of Matt Jackson and Jack Goff. Gordon Shedden's fourth, enough to be the champion ahead of Matt Neal. He's fifth over the line. Adam Morgan sixth. Rob Collard seventh. Andrew Jordan eighth. And Aaron Smith ninth. And Andy Prio 10th. 11th over the line. Sam Tordoff ahead of Turkington, Moffat, Bushell 14th. Cook, Jeff Smith, Hunter Abbott, James Cole, Deppen 19th and Gillam in 20th. And then the survivors in 21st place, we had Alain Menu. And this is how the championship looks after round 30. Gordon Shedden is the champion by 4 points ahead of Jason Plato. Matt Neal third. Colin Turkington fourth ahead of Andrew Jordan. Sam Tordoff sixth at the end of the year. Colin Turkington loses third overall, but he does win the Independence Championship. But this is the man on whom all the attention will surround, and deservedly so. Just a stunning drive by Gordon Shedden from 19th on the grid. Attack, attack, attack. And he didn't win that championship by other people falling off ahead of him particularly. Yes, we did have dramas at the start of the race, but that perhaps only gave him 1 or 2 positions. But the amount of overtaking and committed overtaking, just a stunning job by Gordon Shedden. And in a sense, it's very cruel against Jason Plato because he did have absolutely faultless performance himself, but what a way to win a championship. And Jason, yet again, takes the championship showdown to the last race, and look at that. He could have done no more. Won the race, got fastest lap. He's given it everything over the course of the day. But this is the man who is, for the second time, the British touring car champion. It is Gordon Shedden. And so he will go in a moment through into the Parc Fermé area, and then the TOCA officials will organise a race podium and the championship podium as well, which we will have. And for a change at Brands Hatch after the last few years, it's going to be in the dry rather than in wet conditions. It's been a great day weather-wise, an absolutely superb day of racing, and what a way to round out the championship. Gordon Shedden loosens the belts and awaits to find out whether he can get out of the car yet, or whether the technical officials need to do anything to the car before he hops out. But an emotional, understandably emotional Gordon Shedden. Cannot believe it, but you won't find many better drives than that in touring cars, that's for sure. And so the double champion as he now is, but Jason Plato, as he hops out of the Volkswagen, once more is championship runner-up, but as I say, he could have done no more in that, as the champion's car is pushed down to Parc Fermé. Fourth place, Gordon Shedden over the timing line to secure the championship. And as soon as the officials are happy, then he will make his way into the Parc Fermé area, and you just wait for the reaction when he gets out of the car. The ride height is checked, the weight is checked. Officials will bring the car forward in a moment. The Honda Yuasa Racing, a new car for this year, the Honda Civic Type R. And thumbs up, so the car brought forward, and the champion in a moment will be allowed out of the car once it's parked in the right place. And the Honda Yuasa Racing team will greet its man, will greet the 2015 champion. The Honda pushed into place, and Gordon Shedden takes down the window net, opens the door, and out gets the 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Champion, and that is Gordon Shedden. To the roof he climbs. He's done it for the second time. And there'll be a big dent in the roof after that, I'm sure, but a delighted Gordon Shedden after the drive of his life. That's what the team knew he had to do, and he has done it. Fantastic scenes. Everybody from Honda USA Racing offers their congratulations, and he embraces them all. Barry Plowman is next, and then Gillian, Gordon's wife, who must have had a horrible fortnight from Silverstone building up to this, and a horrible day as well, with all the stress and all the emotion. And it's not often you find Gordon quite this emotional with the tears, but you can understand it after that drive. James Rogers there just being embraced as the team manager. Everybody else from Honda USA Racing congratulate Gordon on not only a great drive, a great championship, and Matt Neal walks across. Matt played his part in that, make no mistake. May not have been the ideal first corner, but Matt did what he had to do after that, was able to stack people up, gave away a place as well. And so the two teammates, and there aren't many teams that work better in the true sense of that word than Honda USA Racing. They switch around to give others the lap leading points, they reverse the situation, and once again it has been a tremendous job. Well done.
Gordon, unbelievable. I mean, you did that the hard way, but boy, did you do it.
Oh, man. Was it 1 point in the end? Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. Oh, to win from that far back, the way the points have gone. Oh, man. And, you know, Matt, as ever, just helping me out and getting us over the line. It's just teamwork of the highest order on. That's absolutely awesome. Can't believe it.
What an incredible turnaround. I mean, you know, we talked earlier on in the weekend about the fact that you were quite calm going into this weekend, but I bet you haven't been calm today, have you?
It's been ups and downs, you know, the emotions of touring cars. And, you know, to start, you know, with Jason starting on the front row, me starting essentially on the back row, it just seemed an impossible task. But, you know, that Civic Type R was on fire with no ballast in it. And, you know, everyone gave me a fair bit of room out there, so I was dead chuffed.
Well done. Good.
Have you ever been that fired up inside a racing car?
I'm just desperate to try and pull something out the bag, and with all the safety cars I thought, oh, you know, we're going to run out of laps, I'm going to run out of opportunities, but wow, it was just, I mean, the car was just absolutely, yeah, I'm lost. Just the emotion's unbelievable. So happy. Did
it ever cross your mind, because I mean, I think from about, you know, 3 laps from the end you'd done what you needed to do, but did it ever cross your mind just to back off a bit, take it easy, because you just kept going for it, didn't you?
Yeah, sometimes the best way is just to keep pushing and kind of keep your rhythm. And you know, the car was absolutely fantastic, and obviously no risks with Jack Goff in the last lap. But I mean, wow, you know, in the debut year for the Civic Type R to win the championship, the manufacturers' championship, Matt to be right up there as well, is just out of this world.
And the second championship for you, I mean, that kind of shifts you up the order. You know, you're on the level with people like Jason Plato now. And how does this one feel different to your first one?
It's even more special. It's just incredible. I just can't put into words what it's. It's just, yeah. Mega, absolutely mega.
I have to say, you've put all of these guys here through absolute torture. I mean, what was going on in the garage, you just can't believe. I mean, particularly your poor wife, Gillian. I mean, let's dive in and grab a word with Gillian. It was torturous for you all, wasn't it?
It was more torturous in between race 2 and 3. To be honest, I knew in the race he would be giving it all, but the waiting was horrible, and obviously we were all trying to keep Gordon positive because he wasn't very, but yeah, no, it's cool, really good.
Steve, let me grab a word with you. I mean, I spoke to you in the garage just before that final race. We talked about the fact that you clinched the manufacturer's title, but this was the one that everybody really wanted, wasn't it?
Oh, this is the mega bucks, yeah, without question. This is the star, this young driver here, and he's still got plenty more races in him in years to come, definitely.
Well done. I don't know about young driver, but anyway, let's just get a last word. Well, actually, let's get a word from Matt first of all about this achievement of Gordon's.
He's just been on the top of his game all year, hasn't he? No matter whether you put him in a historic car or a modern-day 2-litre touring car, turbo touring car, he's just on the top of his game. And, you know, Jason gave a good fight at the end. I couldn't keep quite pace with him, but the way Flash came through was just, I think he's definitely the justifiable champion.
I mean, you were there to help him if needed, but at the end of the day, he didn't need your help, did he?
Well, Jason sort of got his skates on, and the rest of us were having a royal scrap behind him. It was all kicking off, and then I could see, I was on the radio, and I could see Flash coming up through behind, and it's what we do. And I thought Jack might have made his life a little bit easier, but yeah, he wasn't rolling over. So yeah, it was a bit fraught right to the end.
Let's go in and grab one last word with Gordon. Is this starting to sink in with you? You're still looking a little bit shell-shocked.
It just seemed like an impossible dream at the start of that one, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable, just absolutely unbelievable.
Great stuff. Well done, you. We'll let you grab
I wish I could say something more, but you know, these guys have done everything, and you know, to give me the car and the opportunity is yeah, and to stick with me is great, you know. And 2 championships in, it's brilliant. Love it.
To be honest, I think unbelievable just about sums it up. So congratulations. We'll hear from Gordon again later. We'll see him up on the podium accepting that trophy. But for the moment now, we're off for a quick break.